broken system, chained and tangled up in lies. Voices shouting, screaming in defeat. Politicians playing games under darkened skies. Hope lost in the dust of the street. Red and blue, colors pouring from the sky. Debates turn to anger, the crowd gets loud. Punches flying in the blink of an eye. Truth buried deep beneath the shroud. Welcome to the bullpen, where the weak don't survive. These broken dreams we defend, trying to keep alive. Faces on the screen, flashing perfect teeth. But behind those eyes, just rotting greed. Politicians turn to whispers beneath. They all just get what they need. Whispering conspiracies, drowning in their lies. Echoes of freedom, lost in cries. Spin the wheel of fate, let's see who rise. But this game will bleed you dry. Welcome to the bullpen, where the weak will survive. These broken dreams we defend, trying to keep alive. Welcome to the bullpen, where the weak will survive. These broken dreams we defend, trying to keep alive.
That's cool. We got at least a 12.
Hey everybody, welcome to the bullpen. It's Sunday night. We got all of the co-hosts here, even Mad, surprisingly. So we're gonna
Hi,
be
Mad.
Hello.
we've got like one topic.
Yeah. Wow. What topic is that?
It's kind of dominated the news.
Yeah,
What's
I
that,
mean,
Jim?
look,
No idea what you're talking about, bro. What is possibly happening in the world right now?
well, the
Not
New York
much. We
Giants
just
had
had
no
New
chance
Year's.
to get the first round, like the first pick, and Cowboys moved up to 12.
The Giants should have come out as a team to the old DX thing. No chance.
No,
That's
I just
what you
want to
got.
jump up in my chair and scream sports ball.
Yeah, because that
As
is our
the-
one topic for the night. Is me and
Sports
Chad's
ball.
bet from last week. The Chargers did not play their starters.
I was surprised because Harbaugh is usually a dick about that stuff, but you're right, they didn't.
Just pointing that out to get the show started off right. That'll get you all riled up, get you angry.
If you guys in the chat would like to super chat or buy memberships, those things will help us have different things to get riled up about. If you want to comment about your team being better than the Giants or Cowboys, please feel to do that through via super chats. Super chats.
I mean, ain't nobody out there with a better offense. It's just that, entirely other part of the game that was our downfall.
Yeah. And the Avs finally lost it, their third regulation game.
Nobody cares. It's hockey.
Nobody's cared about the Cowboys for like 2 months, including you.
Okay, the season was
Except
over
for that
quickly.
1 week when they won a game and then you were like, hey, I'm back on board. And then they lost again and you were like, and I'm done.
It was like 3
So-
weeks in a row.
Uh-huh. But
It was Oakland, then it was Kansas City, and then it was the Eagles. Wait, is that
Okay.
right? Yeah.
copy
3
will
weeks.
super chat for you not to talk sports.
I won't say no. Neither will Brahma.
So, yeah, I'm not even sure where to start on this one. I mean,
All right,
I guess
let me
we could go back to explaining the Monroe Doctrine, which
Well,
Trump had brought up a
no.
few weeks ago.
I've got a video that will explain it perfectly. Here we go. I'm going to share it.
All right. I'm glad you were here for the meeting beforehand to let us know you had videos.
Deal with it.
Hola amigos, yo soy su nuevo presidente, el señor Donaldo J. Trumpo. Your ex-presidente, el señor Maduro, is no longer your presidente. He kept talking shit, and fucking around, though, and he ultimately found out, though. Anyway, we're going to make Venezuela grande again. Mucho grande. El bigger y el better than ever before. We're going to drill, baby drill. We're going to have a big, beautiful fiesta, all the tacos you want. Mucho mariachi, sexy mamacitas, and delicious margaritas. And President Trumpo is going to be el DJ, okay? Muchas gracias, muchachos. Y let's make el Venezuela grande again. Arriba el Venezuela, amigos. Hola.
That's true. And I've heard on background that Alex Stein will be appointed official secretary of Big Buddha Latinas.
Big Booty Latinas. Did you see him at that protest yesterday?
No, I'm sure he was classic. All right, so
He was just running around with a sign that said "Big Booty" or "Save Big Booty Latinas," and then they figured out he wasn't actually on their side, and somebody actually hit him, I think. But yeah, it was about a 5-minute video that was pretty funny.
All right, so am I not supposed to be sharing the awesome videos that have been coming nonstop for the last?
Yes, you can share the awesome videos.
All right, good. Because otherwise, I would have just pieced out because there'd be no point. This is the fun part. I mean, we do have. I do love all the memes of Marco Rubio becoming temporary president of Venezuela.
Here's another title for you, Marco. You're now in charge of Venezuela.
Earned. He's doing a hell of a job. Give him all the titles. Is anybody else seeing it?
No.
No,
Just
because
hearing
I
it.
haven't put it in the thing yet. I'm not sure. Oh, it was playing through the wrong headphones. That's why. Chad, were you bringing up another or not?
Oh, I didn't. I thought I just heard Mad say he was bringing something.
I've got one I'm loading. But
I never said anything about bringing up anything.
Oh,
this is how it all went down.
Oh my god, that's the same video I was about to load up. I'm glad
Nice.
we were on the same page.
Yeah,
I have to admit, some of these memes have been fucking hilarious.
you can't convince me this isn't what happened.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot it's Pat Shady.
With the laser eyes.
Yep.
I hope he doesn't look directly at them. That can cause permanent damage.
Yep.
Yes.
All right. Oh, I have a here's a I've got one. This is it's classic, but it's a live response of Trump to all the people criticizing him that he can't do this stuff.
Chappelle.
What you should do? You should sanction me. Sanction me with your army. Oh, wait a minute. You don't have an army. I guess that means you need to shut the fuck up. That's what I do if I don't have no army. I would fuck up. Shut the fuck up. That's right. What you should do?
Yeah.
Because effectively everybody who's like Chuck Schumer, they didn't tell us in advance, which magically meant that nobody leaked out the plans.
Yeah,
Isn't
I
that
loved when he
funny how
said that
that
in the
happened?
speech. He's like, "We didn't tell Congress because they leak. Congress
But
is pretty leaky."
Apparently, though, who was it? New York Post and
Washington
somebody else
Post.
was claiming that. Yeah, Washington Post was claiming that they did know ahead of time, but they decided not to
Not
say
to warm
anything
it to
about
her own.
All right. By the way,
I find
undefeated at this
bullshit.
point. I think we've shared it before, but here you go. I'm going to share this here. This is the Pentagon Pizza Index.
The pizza index.
Showing about how all of a sudden there was these massive spikes in pizza deliveries around the Pentagon right before the operation went off. This has been used as a telltale sign that the U.S. is about to engage in some kind of military action somewhere for years, and it's undefeated every single time. Oh, it's amazing how you can use if you're using information warfare, the little things that you could get from. By the way, for Supreme Court, this is why metadata is something you should still protect with a search warrant. You
Oh,
assholes.
absolutely.
Because just from looking at local pizza delivery times and how abnormal they are, we can figure out that the U.S. is about to launch some kind of military strike.
Yep.
But remember, folks, as Obama said, it's just metadata. I'm not listening to your phone calls. That metadata is important, as if it has absolutely nothing to do with what you do in your life and things that
We can
happen.
glean nothing from this.
Yeah, you can glean absolutely nothing from it. So it's fine, folks. It's fine.
Oh, here's one for you. It's not a video, but I think the meme is good. Oh, I'm afraid the Monroe Doctrine is quite operational.
Quite operational. Yeah, I saw that one too. So do we want to explain the Monroe Doctrine?
Yeah, I think it's a good idea because
right.
it's been a while since I've studied history, American history, when it comes to the Monroe Doctrine. So I need a bit of a refresher.
So President Monroe, one of our, I guess, what is it? The Simpsons you called it, like the the mediocre presidents of the 1800s. Like he was president from he was post Madison, so this was immediately following the.
I mean, all presidents are post Madison.
He was the one who he was immediately post Madison. Like he was the successor to James Madison, who was president during the War of 1812. So he declared that basically the entire hemisphere, the Americas, were our territory, and no more fucking around from European powers in our zone.
We wouldn't interfere in the internal affairs or wars of European powers. We would recognize existing European colonies in the Americas and not interfere with them. The American continents were declared off limits to future colonization from Europeans. And any attempt by European powers to intervene in the independent nations of America, such as through colonization, puppet governments, or oppression, would be considered a hostile act against the U.S.
True.
Correct. He was, and much like most presidents in this zone, we started acquiring more territory. His great addition was Florida. So through treaties and wars with the Seminoles, yeah, but they got to stay on their land because they fought harder. So they didn't get bodied like the Cherokee.
Bodied like the Cherokee. Good Lord.
Well, they did.
I mean,
true. It's just the phrasing of it. I'm not arguing that it didn't happen.
I think we need to stop being historically inaccurate when we talk about these things, which is, some of these tribes are like, we got kicked off our land. Is like, no, not every Indian tribe got kicked off their land. Some of them worked harder and kept it. And that's why Florida State has, the Seminoles are down there. But anyway, so Monroe, what's funny is Monroe made that foreign policy when we really didn't have a military or navy capable of actually instituting anything at the time. As you might know, if you follow MadEPAP and you learn about the eggnog riots,
yeah,
the U.S. military was definitely not really professionalized at that point.
Nope.
That one is definitely a good.
But they were a lot cooler.
Watch. If you want like that deep background on what's going on in America in the 1820s and 30s on why we weren't quite up to par for doing that, go watch that MadEPAP episode after this one. But
wow. Hold on. Roland the Wretched coming through with $100 super chat. I guess Roland gets to do whatever he wants tonight. This is for the Toxic Man Flu Sock Shoe Learning Center. That was a great way to start 2026. And just for clarification, 500 subs doesn't get me monetization. I need 1,000 subs and 4,000 watch hours. I'm over halfway on one and a long way on the watch hours. Yeah, once you get the subs, the watch hours start to come. And at the 500 subs with 4,000 watch hours, you are able to do super chats and memberships. So it is
Partial monetization.
the first goal of most YouTubers, besides the 100 where you get to lock in your URL, I think. So yeah, congratulations on hitting 500 though. I saw that in one of the private groups yesterday. Who was it? Jeremy sent people over.
Yep.
D-Day Cobra.
Yeah, he actually messaged me directly saying, so Jeremy got me over 500, so lucky you, I get to watch that movie now. I was like, awesome.
So we'll try something for that huge donation. Let's see if this actually works. Better be loud. Yay, there's fireworks. I don't think there was any sound.
God. No, there's
I heard
there's
some.
Oh,
I
there
heard
was
it.
definitely sound.
Okay.
I think
I
you
still
were
have
probably
the
muted on
preview muted.
Oh, I
My
do
preview
too.
muted
And I
too,
still,
but I still heard
yeah.
it.
I don't know. But yeah, thank you very much, bud. So yeah, where were you, Chad, on the
All
Monroe?
right, so
because we've
the
also
Monroe
got the
Doctrine-
Roosevelt corollary.
Yeah, so the Monroe Doctrine really came into its own as an American foreign policy in the 1840s with first the War for Texas Independence, well, 1830s and 40s, because even though technically Texas was fighting to be an independent country, they were broadly supported by the United States in that action. And pretty much everyone who was fighting on that side was former United States citizens. So anyway, that led immediately into the Mexican-American War in the late 1840s, where we took New Mexico, Arizona, California, and filled out the United States basically to the West Coast. So that was our first action where we used Manifest Destiny and effectively the Monroe Doctrine to really be I should say philosophical underpinnings of militarily taking territory. From there, we did additional wars after. I mean, obviously, we had to take that little break in the mid 1800s for the Civil War, and then spend a few years getting things, righted before that. But then in the 1890s, and this is where Teddy Roosevelt comes in. At this point, as a Rough Rider, that's when we had the Spanish-American War, where we, expressly as part of the Monroe Doctrine, we were telling Spain to get the F out of the Caribbean, Cuba, and that zone. That was going to be our sphere, our territory, our zone of influence. That's leading into Teddy Roosevelt becoming president after Harrison was assassinated. And then he came over and also took over the Panama Canal from the French. We finished that. That was, again, expanding the sphere of influence within Southern and Central America, stating very clearly that this territory is our zone to exploit, not anybody else's. Which really didn't become a problem for the U.S. until Cuba in the 1960s with the, late 50s, with Castro taking over and becoming a communist regime, inviting Russia in. And that was one of the first expressed challenges to the Monroe Doctrine, and that we let slide because Kennedy's a pussy. Then we had further incarnations of that during the 70s and 80s, and with communist revolutionaries taking over country after country. That leads to the Iran-Contra issues. And then this is where a direct analog comes in to what we did in Venezuela with Panama. Narco-terrorist president of a nation state. We indict them criminally. And in order to serve warrant and take them and arrest them, we send in the U.S. military. In that case, we actually invaded Panama. We sent troops in. We were famously blaring, I think it was Metallica, over the loudspeakers to get them.
Yeah,
Mr.
it was heavy
Fortunate
metal
Son.
music.
Metallica instead of CCR.
Yeah. And so, which by the way, that was done by Bush Sr. and not nary a word was said that was illegal and unsupported and not allowed. And that's actually a much larger operation than what we did here.
Jaffo said it was Guns N' Roses.
Guns N'
Oh,
Roses.
that's right.
Okay.
I knew it was basically heavy metal, but I couldn't remember which band it was.
Oh, they were playing the song Panama on repeat. That would have been hilarious.
Oh,
Real quick, talks for $20. Let's read it, and then I'll try to play a different clip. Roland will still need to watch the Bollywood film Cocktail 2. Sock shoe forever, you bald dong gobbler. Indeed? And talks for another $2. Send in Van Halen to invade Panama. And now let's see if I can actually make this work back here, because...
I mean, zombies would be scary.
Yeah.
Isn't one of them dead?
Eddie.
Yeah.
yeah.
Eddie lives.
All right. I don't know if the volume level is ridiculous.
Only
on
in
this.
Iron Maiden.
What? Did we just become best friends? Yep.
I got
I
a
was
weird
clipping
echo on
this
that
weekend.
one, but I don't know.
Turn off the offstage feeds, maybe.
Nope, I
Okay.
still had it too. You're bad at this.
I don't know. I'm just playing around with new toys back here.
Fair enough.
All right, so that's your primer. That's the Cliff Notes version, the
Well,
Panama
let's just-
of the Monroe Doctrine, which basically says South America and Central America are our territories, and everybody else needs to stay the F out of it.
Right. And then the Roosevelt corollary basically says the United States would not seek territorial expansion, but aim to ensure neighboring countries remain stable, orderly, and prosperous. In cases of chronic wrongdoing or impotence in Latin American nations that could invite foreign intervention, the U.S. would exercise an international police power to restore order and fulfill obligations such as debt repayments to European creditors. And then the last portion of it would be that it effectively allowed U.S. military intervention in the internal affairs of Latin American countries to prevent European powers from doing so, inverting the original Monroe Doctrine's focus on non-interference into a justification for American action. So that was kind of the alterations to the original Monroe Doctrine.
I know, but I feel like this is just my personal. When you go back to the Texas and the Mexican American War, we had already inverted it to ghost interventionist on our own to gain territory and or influence.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure everybody knows what the actual corollaries are as what they were stated to be, just so everybody's on the same page.
And then that asshole Woodrow Wilson had to start fucking everything up.
And now we've got the Donroe.
The Donroe Doctrine.
Yes. Did you hear him say that in the press conference?
I did.
Some people are calling it the Donroe Doctrine because we've modified it again, much like Roosevelt.
Real quick, I'm going to bring something up, and we're just going to see what you guys think. All right, we've got picture 1, we've got picture 2, we've got picture 1.
Yeah, this is all over my Discord.
Oh yeah, no, I totally. Yeah, I see what people are talking about.
It also looks a lot like Saddam.
It does.
It's just, I think somebody's got to change their look a little bit.
Mustaches are out.
I don't ever see Dr. Disrespect around anymore.
You need to go full
course.
Osama bin Laden beard, guys. Come on.
So I guess now we get to the strike that happened last week. So overnight on, what was that, the 2nd? Like 3 a.m. Eastern, I guess they got the order to go and do the strike and capture Maduro.
What? What is this?
That's Chad playing music in the background.
I was checking something to see if it was copyrighted.
To see whether it had music.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
100%,
and it 100% does.
Yeah.
Because the video is hilarious, but the music is definitely going to get us copyright struck.
What? Anyway, you're talking about a different strike.
A different strike? The strike that we did down there in Venezuela. Yes. So apparently, I mean, we've all seen kind of the armada forming down there. We knew something was going to happen. And apparently they were just waiting for weather to be clear enough to go over ocean, the mountains, and stay under radar. So weather cleared up. They gave the go-ahead and went off without a hitch. I think
I'm still.
we had one helicopter that was slightly damaged and no Americans killed.
Well, that's because they used Delta instead of the SEALs.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I saw that, Mad might like this running joke. It was somebody on X who was like, if this was a SEAL mission, they would have lost 20 people and already had 5 Mark Wahlberg movies in development.
Wow.
5 Mark Wahlberg.
Not wrong, but wow.
Because Delta just gets the job done. You don't see a lot of those guys like writing books about taking out Bin Laden or anything. We still don't get to know a lot about what Delta did. Delta got one franchise with Chuck Norris that was made by Canon Films, and I don't think they officially
Very
had anything
accurate
to do with it. The motorcycle that shot the rocket backwards was definitely
Totally a
something we
thing.
had.
So yeah,
by
we
the
attacked
way,
Venezuela.
Yep, here you go.
We kidnapped their president.
Here you go, Brahma. It's happening.
Risk.
Right.
Oh my God.
We're expanding to 55 states now.
Trump is like, I want the North American bonus, and then we'll block them from coming and get us through Venezuela, so they can't do it.
Trump's just playing Risk on a global scale.
I mean, it's weird to say that Risk is fairly if you boil it down to the essentials, it's a fairly accurate representation of realist foreign policy, which is, in the end, do you have the military and the wherewithal to take and hold territory? This is where it's funny. People are talking about like the international law and the norms and all this stuff. You know what international law is? Bullshit.
Yeah, that's
international. Go ahead.
You have to volunteer to be, you know what I mean, to break international law. That don't mean shit. They don't have any way to enforce it. Thus, it does not exist.
International law.
Yeah,
only
international
existed.
law is truly we're the biggest bully on the block. We get to do what we want.
There's the only previous instance of international law in history was the Roman Empire, where they just controlled enough of the territory to put their will into action. The international law prior to the Soviet Union falling was, when did the US and Soviet Union agree that something should get done? And then it got done. Now, effectively, China sort of has, and this is where it's pleasant. Did you see the story about how they waited? China had just sent a diplomatic delegation to Venezuela. Maduro welcomed them there like 2 hours, 3 hours before he got snatched.
So do they go home now?
The Chinese
Like,
delegation was it? Yeah.
Imagine them with, hey, boss, we don't know what to do now. Do we go home? Do we stay and wait for see you by the next guy?
I think that was not a coincidence either, that they were letting China be present.
Well, no, it was because it was delayed because of the weather. What had happened prior to this if it
would
wasn't
have happened
for-
whenever the weather was clear enough to make it happen. Real quick, since he's on his way out, talk to Manflu for another $20 over on the Rumble side. Thank you very much, sir. Have to go, but just wanted to say I am all over the U.S. taking over everything from Mexico down to Argentina and Chile. Those countries suck and need to be U.S. territories like the Confederacy wanted. Yeah, territories, I don't even want them as that. Canada's fun to think about making a territory.
We need
but I don't
ski
want any
resorts.
of the countries down there.
We haven't even talked about how Venezuela has totally fucked Canada.
Yes. Well, we talked about it a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, just to reiterate, the major oil export from Canada is what's called heavy crude, which is what the refineries in Louisiana, Texas, and all through the southeastern United States are built to refine. And it's what
Why were they built to refine it?
because
Because
that's
Venezuelan oil is what we refined there for
well, it was
decades.
also because that's what came out of Texas. It was that's the anyway. So that's what American infrastructure is built to run on heavy crude. And the cheapest gas we had ever had was when in the mid and late 90s, before Chavez took over, Venezuela was pumping 2 million barrels a day and sending it right up into the Gulf of America to be refined for the United States for use as gasoline. Now, right now, Mark Carney and all these other douche nozzles up in Canada, they've put the kibosh on any expansion. Like Keystone XL got killed on our side by Biden in his administration. But so they were going to build the pipeline instead, going to the west coast of Canada, where they could export it and through refineries there to China. But Carney and the liberals, because they are money phobic, said, "Oh no, we can't do anything that would increase greenhouse gas emissions."
Money phobic.
So they didn't, they didn't build any of that. So they've got no market now, because now Trump is going to be able to pump for pennies on the dollar oil out of Venezuela to send to the US. And I think it's hilarious. People are going mad because Trump is being honest. And he's like, we're taking their oil.
Yeah.
And he's like, we should have done that in Iraq and been honest about it, instead of just letting companies.
Even under, I think the U.S. law, you can't do that. You can't invade a country and then take their.
Well,
their
we're doing it as
resources.
reparations.
Yeah,
So
we're actually owed from several lawsuits.
Right. I was talking about Iraq.
Well, we could have done it through reparations in Iraq too. We could have declared that we were owed money because of Kuwait.
They invaded Kuwait.
They invaded Kuwait.
We're not Kuwait.
We mobilized to defend Kuwait. We could have, if you wanted to. Nobody would have challenged it if you put the cost of the 1990 Iraq War plus interest into a spreadsheet and said, until we get this X amount of dollars back, we're not paid off.
You owe us royalties now.
You owe us war reparations. It's, again, that goes international order. That has been the war reparations idea goes back thousands of years, right? That if you start the war and you lose, you owe war reparations for starting shit.
Yeah. Dearest for $5. Chuck Norris stars in Delta Force 3 Invasion Venezuela.
I think they made a Delta Force 3 already.
I think they made a Delta Force 7.
Yeah.
But I'm of the opinion that it is not just about the oil, and I don't think it's really about the drugs.
Are you going to go with the voting machine angle?
I believe that is an angle. I don't think it is the actual angle that that is actually the issue here.
I mean, did they actually say what the reason was for going and doing a snatch and grab on Maduro?
Well, because we've had a what are they called?
The drug boats? Is that
no,
what they're using?
What was it? 2022, I think. We've had him under, what are they called? It's not a
indictment.
Warrant. Indictment, yes. Yep. Under indictment for years now. So there was also, Biden had a bounty on him for like $25 million or something like that. But yeah, we were just serving the indictment and going and bringing him back to face court. Face trial.
Yeah, it was like Dog the Bounty Hunter, but.
Yeah, but with Delta Force.
Yeah.
No, I think what the Pentagon is looking at is there are three crucial things that have been going on in Venezuela. One is the minerals, because Venezuela has some of the biggest deposits of minerals as well. China in April had basically restricted the rare earth exports that were coming out. So China was weaponizing the supply chain. You had the Iranians were building drones in Venezuela. They've got a major drone manufacturing facility there, and it just became operational. and Russian military advisors were integrating into the Venezuelan forces, along with the drugs and everything else that Venezuela was doing. So basically, you were able to send a message by taking him out, or at least kidnapping him and putting him on trial. You're sending a message to China, Iran, and Russia as well.
I think
Especially with the
apprehending
Chinese delegation.
I think apprehending him would be a better term than kidnapping.
Yeah.
I just think it's funny.
Taking
Even
into
Trump, even when the reporter asked Trump, so people are saying that you kidnapped Maduro, and he said, "Kidnapping's not always a bad word."
I mean,
First of all, he's not a kid.
abduct. How's that? I mean, is abduct?
We sent in Delta Force. Maduro he booby trapped his house like it was Home Alone, but he couldn't stop us. It's like you've seen Home Alone, right? I was in Home Alone 2. The only reason he found the place to check in was because of me. So
Better movie.
But it also showed, I mean, by apprehending him, we did something that I don't think any other military on the earth could do.
You wanted to talk about
And we
sending
showed them
messages. Here's where it sent a message. The Venezuelan airspace was supposedly defended by one of the top of the line, what money could buy, Russian anti-aircraft systems, mobile, emplacements, radar,
Right.
all of it. Before we even sent stuff in, we fucked up that shit with cyber attacks, so it couldn't do anything. We took slow moving Black Hawks. Like Mad can tell you, right? Black Hawks are not what you're using when you don't dominate the airspace. You're not sending a Black Hawk slowly into, Caracas if you don't dominate. If you're not worried about, you have to be completely not worried about anti-aircraft to be doing that. So we did that. Since you want to talk about a message, that was Russia. If we ever did need to go into your airspace, we would have complete free reign as soon as we wanted to.
It's not going to be as complicated as Top Gun Maverick made it be.
Yeah, your most sophisticated shit isn't doing anything to us. So, which by the way, that also came from Trump's first administration, where he had them reprioritize the cyber warfare division to actually being a division focused on lethality and actually being offensive instead of just defensive. That was prior to Trump. For some reason, our entire cyber warfare was just committed to only doing defensive statuses. He wanted offensive capability.
Let me grab a couple of these real quick. That 70s Rock fan for $2 over on the Rumble side. America only invades nice, warm countries. Canada is too frigid for them, wimps.
Nice, warm countries.
All the Canadians want us to invade.
First, you have to have something we want to invade your country for. So, I mean, there's
also,
we just got oil from Venezuela. Why do we need
we don't need your maple syrup reserves, dude. Come on.
By the way, Iraq is not something I would describe as nice and warm.
How about Hell's Butthole?
Yeah.
Oh, would you describe it as nice and toasty? Toasty warm?
Oh, what? Man. Is that a burn joke?
Mad was
no,
toasty,
actually, it wasn't.
Iraq is Hell's Butthole.
That was an unintentional burn.
No, it's not an intentional burn joke.
Iraq is Hell's Butthole and Afghanistan is the Devil's Taint. There you go. Those are the two zones we were in for 20 years.
We also got $1 from Mod Eric K over on the Rumble side. We gave the AOK for Iraq to go into Kuwait for stealing Iraq oil. Kuwait was warned by Iraq. We said we did not care what they did. Once they went in, it was an excuse.
Pretty much.
And I think we had one more. Thank you for that donation, Eric. I thought I saw.
I think it was Southern Bell.
Yeah, there it is. Southern Bell for $2 on the YouTube side. When are we defining the Don Rowe doctrine?
I think we've defined it through the
kind of defining it as he goes. Yeah. I'm pretty sure Rubio and Trump both addressed it as FAFO.
Yep. Here you go. This is breaking news on a gaggle on Air Force One. Let's see if this comes through clearly.
While you're pulling that up, Toxic Man Flu for another $2. Ooh, nice burn, Comix.
It was completely unintentional.
It felt very intentional.
All right, so this is audio only, so hopefully it's clear.
I was downplaying how fucking hot it was in the desert, dude.
Well, if it's audio only, just keep it at not full screened.
Well, fine. I was giving a visual, but fuck it.
A visual of what? It's audio
A visual
only.
of audio only?
You guys have no sense of the moment. Fine. We'll just play it.
Colombia is very sick too, run by a sick man who likes making cocaine and selling it to the United States, and he's not going to be doing it very long, let me tell you.
What does that mean? He's not going to be.
For those who couldn't quite hear, Colombia is run by
Colombia.
a sick man who likes making cocaine and selling it to Americans,
Oh,
but he's
man.
not going to be doing it much longer.
Who the hell gave him their Netflix password? Fucking watching Narcos, like, this country down here looks very bad. Pascal can only do so much.
Actually, he got the Venezuela idea from the Tom Clancy Jack Ryan series on Netflix.
I think eventually Trump's plan is to take over all of Latin America and just split it between Millie in the south and what's his name from El Salvador for the north. And he's we have two American dictators in place. And you know what? I would.
That's
bet
always gone so well.
I'm going to be honest that South America would be better for it. There you go. You want to talk about
They probably
an
would.
example? If you ever wanted an example of why culture and history and shared values matters, look at Africa and South America, because they are the two probably most mineral and resource rich continents in the world. And regardless of the country, they just can't run their stuff at all, because and you can blame colonialism where they didn't develop a system of having like a learned middle class and all that kind of thing, but they're corrupt. They constantly have governments overthrowing the previous governments. They don't have any consistent I guess what would it be the right way to say this? They don't have any consistent
line.
leadership that has a through line of trying to improve things for their nation state and their people long enough. I mean, there have been instances where people have come in and tried to do that, and they tend to get assassinated and moved on very quickly. People have to understand, like, when you're talking about why we're so worried about the United States, it is the ultimate rarity within world history to have a nation state actually formed around working towards the benefit of its people. Super rare, doesn't really happen. You can argue whether the United States was doing that from day one, or in search of a more perfect union, yada yada yada. But we have been effectively being under invasion from the third world for 40 years minimum, and it's not going to end well if we don't stop it. And we've got to start worrying about that for realsy. And luckily, it looks like Trump and Vance and some of these people are.
Rubio. Copy Kitty gifted 5 Brahma Bowl memberships. Thank you very much, Copied. I think now that I've got the audio, let me try the fireworks again.
You had the audio.
I didn't hear it though.
I heard it.
I hear it.
That's
now
all that matters.
because I fixed it.
That's good.
And we got $4.99 from the Dead Man. Not a fan of Maduro, but also not a fan of more CIA toppling of governments. Bold move, Cotton. Let's see if it plays out.
That's kind of how I feel as well, Dead Man.
I think it's also going to take a little bit more than just taking Maduro for this to get back on track. So,
well, that's where Rubio was making the rounds this morning, explaining that when they were asking him, especially CBS girl who got bodied by JD Vance earlier in the year, when she was like, "What is that,
Margaret?"
Yeah, she was like, "The Maduro's VP is taking over." He's like, "We're still boycotting. We're still blockading all their oil exports. We expect them to basically get on board with what we want them to be doing very quickly, or they're going to still have problems." And I don't think he has any reason to think that won't happen. I also think it's strategic. The reason people are like, why didn't Trump immediately come out for, that Nobel Peace Prize winning leader of the opposition, Trump understands that to a lot of people, he's not necessarily the most popular. So by being a little cool on her taking over, it still gives her cover to not be seen as a Trump plant,
Machado.
within Venezuela. Yep.
Maria Machado. Right?
Yeah, exactly. Because you want to avoid what we did in Afghanistan, where the Karzais were corrupt Bush appointees, and that's all they were ever viewed as, because that's all they ever were. And they, took the money and ran. Looks like you got some stuff.
Yeah, we got a few more.
Or actually what we did in Iraq when we just got rid of everyone, both
And
the
left
good
the
and the
power
bad.
vacuum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, power vacuums are fun.
Toxic man flu for $1. What do you mean by you people have to understand?
Yeah, I was going
What
to
do you mean, you people?
What do you mean? What do you mean, you people?
Asshole libertarians.
Black pilled Timon, $5. Let's not forget USAID also fucking us over, so it's not just incompetence.
Yeah.
No, it's been by design that the left has looked for a way to make this country fall for quite a while. And then I know there it is. Then JB using his member chat, celebrating 3 months of membership. America, F yeah, the drug boats is mostly to mess with Europe and their supply. I think the drug boats, I think Venezuela's been doing, along with Russia, China, and Iran, they've been doing things specifically like election rigging, bot farms, and flooding the country with fentanyl to basically undermine and create issues within the U.S. It'll be interesting if Trump actually does get Maduro to sing about the voting machines and about 2020 specifically.
I still think that there's about a 90% chance that he had made the deal to give himself up the way it went down. But there was, I guess, a report that he had allowed half the Venezuelan military to go on their Christmas leave and not be called back. Like, there was a little bit of clearing the space being done.
It's an interesting conspiracy theory.
Yeah, but didn't they also say that him and his wife were trying to run to their safe room, but didn't close the door in time?
I haven't heard any details on what happened in the room.
That doesn't sound like a guy that is giving himself up, if true.
Unless he's trying to save face in front of his people.
Yeah, I was gonna say unless he's trying to save face.
But,
I mean, because
he wouldn't be the one that said it.
You think he would fucking close the door rather than leave it open?
I think it's a heavy door. It's like 10 inches of solid steel.
I mean, yeah, sure. It's probably a safe door. I mean, that's usually how thick they are, but you can still fucking close them.
They're usually on a weighted on a hinge that's where it so it doesn't have a lot of force needed to close it. Like, you ever seen the video of the Cold War bunker that they built into the West Virginia resort?
Yes.
And it's got like a 80-foot steel door, but like 2 guys can just close it.
Yeah.
Because of the way it's hinged.
At Greenbrier?
Yep.
Greenbrier, thank you. Yeah. It's like I knew exactly what Chad was talking about. The hotel, quote unquote, that was retired.
Hotel and golf course, yeah.
Oh no, it's still open. I mean, but the facility for them to
the facility was retired as well.
Yeah, that's just because they replaced it with something newer.
Yeah, and like DIA.
I mean, Greenbrier was basically, if you guys want to know, if you haven't seen it, if you watched Terminator 3, where John Connor ends up at the end of Terminator 3, was effectively the Greenbrier bunker zone. It was built for all the guys from DC to get out here to run the government in absentia during a nuclear war.
Yep.
I don't know. Do you guys think there's any link on the 2020 election and
no,
the Dominion voting machines issues?
Harold Robinson is convinced there is and has been.
I think it's more likely that we're going in there for the fucking mineral resources more so than anything else.
Right, but a nice side effect might be that you get Maduro to sing about what they've been doing with election systems, because all of that stuff originates from Venezuela. The algorithms and everything that they've been using for counting votes.
The Dominion ones? I didn't realize there was a Venezuelan
Not specifically Dominion. I think it's whatever the one Acu Systems or whatever it was. It's the ballot counters.
Smartronic. It's the ones who
Smartronic.
built the software for like Smartronic and Dominion voting.
Yeah. And they then spread that throughout all major countries that have ballots and elections. And Maduro has supposedly said multiple times, yes, you can rig these elections easily. It just looks for the places where you would just need a few votes to flip, and then it'll do it on its own and still keep the overall count looking somewhat correct.
Interesting.
I know that allegedly in the trial going on with My Pillow Dude, their guy showed
Mike Lindell?
Mike
yeah,
Lindell?
he got up right in front of the judge, right out as they brought in a rebuttal witness after the people said that, look, it's secure, you can't do that. They brought in a rebuttal, and the guy did it right in front of him, like with a paper clip and a keyboard. And he was like, doot. Here's how you
There
can
you
do
go.
it. And then they're like, well, that was a fluke. And then they brought in another one, like another machine, and he did it again. Nope,
you
this
can't do
is
it
just
9 out of 10 times.
I don't think we're all right. So you got Jaffos.
Well, first we got Dan Crane just joined and became a member. Thank you very much. And then, yeah, Jaffo, and yeah, he brings up the other thing that happened. I am Jaffo for $1 says, not fond of the idea of us occupying Venezuela, but blowing up Hugo Chavez's grave memorial, fucking based.
Did they do that?
They blew up his mausoleum. Yeah.
Oh, that's fucking hilarious.
Intentionally
Oh, no, not
targeted
his.
the mausoleum and blew it up.
It was also a military museum and mausoleum. It was, yeah.
Oops, accidents happen.
Yep. Yeah, I thought that was hilarious because, that was like Marco Rubio just whispering in Trump's ear, hey, can you divert a couple of them over to there and just take that out too? Since we're there. But yeah,
Here we go.
what do you guys think happens from here then, ultimately?
Well, if you want here, let's give Marco Rubio a second. This is him with Margaret Brennan when she's asking why we didn't take out all of the other henchmen for the Maduro regime. So this might give an insight into kind of where our administration is planning on going with Venezuela, on what we're going to be doing, because there was, I think, there's some criticism is like, well, why didn't we take out everybody? So here you go. And by the way, she is the worst.
I'm confused. Are they still wanted by the United States? Why didn't you arrest them if you are taking out the narco-terrorist regime?
You're confused? I don't know why that's confusing to
They're
you.
still in
It's
power.
very simple. You're not going to go.
You're confused.
You're confused. Are you PMSing, Margaret?
You know what Marco wants to say? Yeah, is it your moon cycle, Margaret? Is this just her facial? By the way, she is every ex-wife that you've like trying to criticizing. Like, I just came home from work, Mark. Give
but
me
you
a
know she's
fucking
fucking
minute.
crazy in the sack, man.
No.
And then wrap up. But you can't go. You're going to go in and suck up 5 people. They're already complaining about this one operation. Imagine the howls we would have from everybody else if we actually had to go and stay there 4 days to capture 4 other people. We got the top priority. The number one person on the list was the guy who claimed to be the president of the country that he was not. And he was arrested along with his wife, who was also indicted. And that was a pretty sophisticated and frankly complicated operation.
It was.
It is not easy to land helicopters in the middle of the largest military base in the country. The guy lived on a military base. Land within 3 minutes, kick down his door, grab him, put him in handcuffs, read him his rights, put him in a helicopter, and leave the country without losing any American or any American assets. That's not an easy mission. And you're asking me, why didn't we do that in 5 other places at the same time? I mean, that's absurd.
While also
I do
saying
think
you weren't allowed to do that. You weren't allowed to do that, but Why didn't you do more of it?
I like how he's like, that's absurd. It was like, I think, would this qualify as Marco mansplaining to her? It's like, what is wrong?
I mean, sometimes it's needed.
It's like, yeah. So and he continues.
This is one of the most, daring, complicated, sophisticated missions this country has carried out in a very long time. Tremendous credit to the U.S. military personnel who did it. It was unbelievable, and tremendous success. And today, an indicted drug trafficker who was not the legitimate president of Venezuela, who we don't recognize, the Biden administration didn't recognize, 60-something countries don't recognize, the European Union doesn't recognize, and many countries in Latin America don't recognize. He was a indicted drug trafficker. He was arrested. His wife was arrested, also
but the
indicted, and they are now
others who
facing
are also
justice in an
indicted are
American
still
system of courts.
The others who are also indicted are still in place. So that's the point of my questioning there. But you talked about not being the legitimate
So you wanted
president.
us to land in 5 other military bases?
No, I'm asking why.
It's like, did you really? You wanted us to?
Margaret, do you want to plan the next operation?
Like, Margaret, are you a fucking general now?
Yep.
Are you Hillary Clinton? What difference does it make now? Do you want,
At this
like,
point.
This is how you lose Blackhawks, by the way. You start trying to go too many places, do stupid stuff without a clear objective. This, by the way, this is to Trump's credit and the people who are running, and I think Hegseth doesn't get enough credit because they go after him and they hate him. All of our military operations, including the one I was very hesitant about in Iran and other things, seem to have very clear objectives without mission creep so far. We go in, we do the objective that as it was defined, and we get the F out, which is how you should be running the military.
Yep, they've all gone without a hitch, except for maybe having to double tap a couple boats.
I mean, even that is still within the objective that was laid out.
Yes, it is.
Lethally destroy the boats and move on. You don't have to. Why? Like Margaret would be like, why didn't you send a rescue boat for the people we were trying to kill? That seems silly. Like,
no, if anything, we could have just waited around for the people that they radioed to rescue them that were the other drug runners and then shot another one. But that would keep us in the air longer.
This is something where I'd say because there's like the Thomas Masseys and some of the other douche nozzles on the libertarian wing are trying to use this as a wedge against the MAGA greater supported movement. And I think this is where they fundamentally misread what the MAGA base for Trump is really like. No, people in the MAGA base aren't necessarily against using the military to do an operation. What we are against generally is doing stupid interventionist neocon nation building.
Right.
When you're like, would you like something like this? Would you go in, do an operation where you're there for 2 hours, you get the illegitimate dictator of Venezuela and get the F out? Yeah, that sounds fine. How about a airstrike where people get killed on like Venezuelan narco boats coming in to bring drugs and this stuff to the U.S.? Yeah, that's fine. It kind of goes back to the old Reagan coalition, right? What people don't want is the U.S. military being used for stupid things that aren't in the interest of the United States, and they don't want the U.S. military being abused and run into the ground. And this is not that, right? As of right now, this is not that. They're not putting boots on the ground. We're not, putting up checkpoints in green zones in Caracas because we're running things. We're, I think, doing it the right way. Now we are using the economic levers of power by completely blockading all of their oil exports so that they either get on board or they have no money flowing in at all. It's kind of a quick choice. Like, how do you want to do this? These illegitimate, like, communist and organized crime kind of regimes depend on illicit money flow to be able to keep that stuff running. And as soon as you cut that off, you can see how quickly things are falling apart. Which is, you don't always have to send an invasion force so that Raytheon can make their fourth quarter numbers. And I think that's the difference.
Well, this would have made their first quarter numbers.
Depends if they're using the government.
Which fiscal year?
Yeah. Government won our calendar year.
Eric wanted me to bring up this tweet. I'll just read it. It is from a... Oh, I just lost it. It's from an actual Venezuelan talking. And basically, it's an open letter to liberals, Democrats, libtards, and the general woke mob. I see too many fuckers in here gripping their ethically sourced oat milk latte so hard the cardboard sleeve is whimpering, staring at footage of us, actual Venezuelan human beings who have spent the last decade eating sheep for dinner, I think is what it says, cheering for the orange man. How dare we, right? And it hurts, doesn't it? It feels like your brain is trying to divide by zero while some asshole kicks you in your junk with Delta Force boots. Since I know you ain't gonna read all of this, this is a summary. Fuck you and your actually gag reflex. Too bad your squirrel mind can't fathom a guy in Caracas who has lost 40 pounds because of collapsing economy and whose local currency is less valuable than a used napkin, is weeping with joy because he thinks the 47th is his ticket out of a socialist fever dream. And yes, we have been waiting for this moment for literally decades. But your immediate lizard brain reaction is to push up your glasses, scoff, and say, actually, do these Venezuelans realize that Trump's stance on globalism is intellectually inconsistent with the neoliberal framework required for true South American stability? No, you absolute dipshit, we don't. And there's a lot more of it. I'll link it in the show notes or something. So, pretty funny, though. It has been a ton of white liberal women out there throwing a fit.
Well, yeah, the ones that are being paid.
Yeah. Meanwhile, all the Venezuelans have been taking to the streets celebrating everything. So.
But I have a good authority. That's all fake, guys.
I did have a video of one of the leftist protesters. Let me see if I can get it added real quick. About as soy as you can get.
Is that a man or a woman?
That's
a good question.
Apparently a man. Supposedly.
Chavez made sure that millions of kids who never had access to education would.
He's talking about Hugo Chavez.
He did so by sometimes using the Venezuelan army to seize the property.
By the way, dipshit, just so you know, Chavez hated the gays. Like, really hated the gays. How's that fixed into your Marxist utopia? Oh, by the way, Marx also hated the gays.
That'll just get sorted into
among many other people.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Property of U.S. companies. To seize the property of U.S. companies.
Okay.
Exxon.
He seized the oil and used that money for the Venezuelan oil, nationalized the oil to pay for social services. The quality of life for the poor in Venezuela skyrocketed. And today, the U.S. empire bombed his grave.
Oh, no.
They want to destroy the memory of the hero, Hugo Chavez. Viva Chavez!
Down with the homos.
I hate Minnesota so much. These people are morons.
Yeah.
I believe the
like I
phrase
said,
is
where
useful
were
idiots.
where were these fucking retards when Obama was basically drone striking the shit out of everyone during his presidency? Oh, that's right. They weren't saying a damn fucking thing.
Yep. And that is what the dead man put in a $5 super chat.
Yeah.
Where was this concern when Obama went into Libya or Syria? Yeah, we've got an interesting link to Syria tonight that is our other, kind of major topic. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting few weeks to the start of the year, I think.
Jeez.
I did have one of Schumer also. What Schumer was saying like 7 or 8 years ago to what Schumer is saying now.
He brags about all these things he wants to do or is doing, but his actions belie his words. Maybe the best metaphor was his claim to bring democracy to Venezuela. There was a big policy there. It flopped. If the policy was working, Juan Guaido wouldn't be in the balcony here. He'd be in Venezuela. He'd be sitting in the president's palace, or at least waging a fight to win. He's here. And the president brags about his Venezuela policy? Give us a break. He hasn't brought an end to the Maduro regime. The Maduro regime is more powerful today and more entrenched today than it was when the president began.
So what can the Congress do about it is the next question.
Well,
I'll pause it 1 sec.
That volume is also really fucking low.
Yeah, I can still bump it up some. What were you going to ask, man?
Is this before or after?
That was in 2020.
That was the before.
Oh, okay.
That was 2020.
Basically, Trump didn't do anything about Maduro, and he's not going to.
What can the Congress do about it is the next question.
Well, the next question is very simple, and that is that we have the War Powers Act. That's a privilege resolution, which means the Republicans can't block it. Tim Kaine and I and Rand Paul are sponsors of it. It's going to come to the floor this week.
What a team.
And if it is voted for, if it's voted positively in both houses, then the president can't do another thing in Venezuela without the okay of Congress. We have to pass it.
President Trump say that he intends for the United States to run Venezuela? It was reckless. It was dangerous. And looking at the president's demeanor, he didn't even seem to be aware of how dangerous and reckless it is. Let me be clear. Maduro is an illegitimate dictator, but launching military action without congressional authorization, without a credible plan for what comes next, is reckless. Now, I was in the skiff on 3 different occasions, as recently as December, and I asked the administration, I asked them, are you pursuing regime change? Are you intent on taking military action in Venezuela, Venezuelan territory? And they assured me that they were not pursuing those things.
That would, by the way, be leaking classified information from a classified hearing in a skiff.
From the skiff? Yeah.
I would think you just made the point on why they didn't give you guys a briefing ahead of the
exactly
operation.
Why you guys are not in the need to know category.
With the American people. So I've been talking to so many members of my caucus today. Everybody is very, very just totally troubled, worried about how dangerous this is. Let me lay out just a few of the actions that have already been taken to hold the Trump administration accountable. First,
okay, pause it.
Jeffries and I called on the
Okay, what are you going to do to hold the Obama administration accountable for their actions? Oh, wait, you didn't do shit. Okay, and they always talk about the whole thing with politics, something being political. In this instance, they are very much making it political, right? Because when their guy does it, it's completely fucking fine. When Trump does it, oh my God, the world's coming to an end. I can't believe he did this thing. Yeah.
The Democrats love executive action.
Yes, they do.
As long as they have the executive power.
Exactly.
And it's always been that way. But to be fair, we complain about a lot of the executive power used from their side too.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't surprise me that they're whining about it. It surprises me that they have gone from protecting Somalian fraud in 1 week to now praising Maduro and saying, we should have left him alone. Venezuela is not our deal. 5-6 years ago, it was Maduro's an authoritarian that needs to be removed.
Right. Well, and the other thing too that, which does kind of concern me about Maduro. I mean, is Venezuela a part of BRICS, out of curiosity?
They are. I don't know if they're officially part. I think they're a proxy of.
Okay. Yeah, because I think one thing that we should be concerned about is some of the stuff that you mentioned, like the whole thing with them having, I guess, Russian assets in the country and potentially Venezuela being used maybe as a staging ground.
Yeah, they're embedding into the military.
Yeah, which I do find that to be kind of concerning. Before we went live, one thing I kind of told him is like, there's three things in my brain rolling around with this whole thing. It's like, am I a fan of what was done? Not really. Am I a fan of a socialist dictator who was not duly elected getting taken out? Yeah, I am kind of. But at the same time, this does kind of smell of neocon regime change fuckery at the same time. So I don't know what this looks like.
And
in the
all
future.
of those things can be true at the same time.
Yes, all those things can be true at the same time. Now, you asked the question, how does this look like? I don't know. Probably it's going to play out more like Panama than the shit that has happened over in the Middle East, because culturally, Panama is vastly different than what we've seen in Iraq, Syria, Libya, et cetera, et cetera.
Right. They've been under authoritarian rule in Venezuela, not under theocracy authoritarian rule.
Well, and you also
And
have
a
more of a
vast
unified
difference.
culture than, kind of like more fractured cultures that you see in the Middle East because of the Sunni, Shiites, Kurds, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Yep. And more Western values in Venezuela.
Yeah,
Remember, Venezuela was one of the richest countries in the world.
Yeah, until Maduro kind of fucked it up. But,
Chavez and
I don't
Maduro,
know. It's just every time we do a regime change, we tend to fuck it up. With a few exceptions. I mean, and even then I can still kind of point to Panama saying, well, Panama is basically, in the hands of China right now. So I don't know. We'll see how this plays out. I hope it gets better. I hope that the Venezuelans get their country back and they can actually have a democracy like they actually want. But like I said, every time we do a regime change, we tend to fuck things up royally. That's my main concern.
Yeah, I think that is perfectly valid concerns.
Well,
Because
the other
yes,
thing
it
too
has
that
gone bad. It's just, I think looking at the Middle East versus looking in our hemisphere,
yeah,
the values are just so much different that it may not necessarily be a good thing to start a regime change again. But I think it plays out differently in this hemisphere than it does over there.
Yeah, I will tend to agree with that. There was something else I just totally blanked on. Never mind.
And we did have an election, as Tina pointed out, and Maduro is the one who refused to leave.
Yeah.
So I got a. I don't want to necessarily play it because it's all in Espanol, but if you hold down Schumer, I guess I can do that.
I'll remove mine, and you can put.
So this was they were talking to a Venezuelan man in the street, right? And his quote was, "To those who say the U.S. is only interested in our oil, I ask you, what do you think the Russians and Chinese wanted here?"
Yeah, no fucking shit.
The recipe
a
for
recipe
rapas?
for rapas. And it's perfect. Like, that they act like this is a situation where the other nation states aren't making moves on the same resources.
It's pearl clutching.
Oh,
yes.
Now I remember my comment. I also find it fucking funny, just like the left's reaction to it right now too. That shit makes me laugh so much.
Yeah, because, well, on the one hand, there's an authoritarian falling. On the other hand, it's a communist authoritarian.
Yep.
So he's on their side.
Yep.
So they don't know how to react, because it's basically Maduro does everything they accuse Trump of, but he is doing it from their side.
Well, I think it's less that he's on their side and more that they're on his side.
Yes. As shown by the Hugo Chavez protesters. Right. I mean, I don't know. It has been interesting to see, because the left always chooses to, make martyrs out of the worst people, or try to defend the worst people. And we still have all the situation in Minnesota and the whole Somali fraud thing.
Oh,
and
no,
that
what
just keeps
happened?
going deeper and deeper and deeper. I think Trump called them out and said, "We're not sending any money to California, Minnesota," and named a few other states and said, right now, Minnesota, it's the number that Trump put out there is they may have uncovered up to $50 billion at this point. that they know
Yeah,
of.
they need to fucking do something about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and now they're looking at even in Ohio, like they're starting to pull. Was they found that the fucking like I forget what his position was in Somalia within the government had an ownership stake in Ohio daycares and medical clinics.
Wasn't he the UN ambassador from Somalia or something like
He
that?
was, yeah, he was like the foreign ambassador or whatever they called, whatever his title was. It's because the entire GDP of Somalia, if it when it's not being pirates and being the captain now, is taking money out of the United States via social welfare programs
and sending it to terrorist organizations in Somalia.
I know, like Cobra.
Cobra. Toxic Man Flu for $2. So tell me, when do we get off the merry-go-round of it's okay when our guy does it? Just take him out now. Use the illegals for Operation Asylum Seekers forward. Brilliant.
Okay, I'm glad you brought that one up because this is the thing where whataboutism never won a fucking election in our entire life. So, trying to make a thing about like, well, they did it, so principles, no. The exercise of political power when you're in power is what keeps you in and your movement in power. We are in an existential fight for preserving the United States as a republic, as a Western civilized country. So the fact that Trump might be exercising naked political power to make sure that the resources within our hemisphere are being used for our purposes and and for the advancement of not only the Venezuelans but the American people, fuck yeah, I'm fine with that. And I'm sorry that it bothers again the libertarian pussies that we do this shit because again libertarianism I'm so sick of Thomas Massey and these assholes because principles doesn't actually work because you run into a guy with a gun and more principles and then you're going to be like, well, you shouldn't do that because we should be able to have civilized agreements between people, and then the guys with the guns from Chicago will take your wallet and then you can it'd be like, and you can harumph all you want. You have to well, I mean I don't like the use of the terrible baby doll in the movie, but there was a good line from the what is it
American Sniper.
American Sniper. There's wolves and there's sheeps and there's sheepdogs. Sometimes you need to counter the wolves, you need people. I mean, obviously, I think Team America also summed it up.
Yeah, I was gonna bring that up. That Team America has one
yeah,
too. It's dicks, pussies, and assholes.
Because the libertarian pussies are afraid of dicks, but they're only an inch and a half away from assholes. So, yeah, that's exactly. So I think that we need to just make it clear that we need to get right with the best times in America have been when we used our full political power for the purposes of advancing the agenda for the American people. That's when we've
and
done
sometimes
best.
Peace through strength also requires flexes every now and then, just to remind everybody, what we can do. And I believe this mission probably showed all of those militaries were not on the same level.
Yeah, there's levels to this game.
Yeah. And both the Iran mission and this mission said we operate at a different capacity and level than any of the other militaries right now. And they should be completely scared of doing anything.
I think that's why they're so hard on trying to get Hegseth out, because his genuine focus on making lethality the primary focus.
Force. Yeah.
I loved him telling the flag officers they needed to get out there and do PT because it's the greatest thing in the world. Mad knows from seeing those guys on base that there'd been a long time where once you hit a certain level, even though you were quote unquote supposed to still qualify, you weren't doing it.
Yeah, well, when you're signing the bottom of the form that you passed, you know what I mean?
Exactly. Like, you can't tell me that Mark Milley was still passing his PT test when he was getting out. Like, I would say if I was Hegseth, a certain uniform size level would be an immediate indicator of needing to have some conversations.
You ordered the XXXL. We need to know why.
Like, are you making a bedspread or something?
I'm making a tent.
I
the
believe,
field.
no, sir. This was a community uniform. We were going to split it up.
We each needed some patches from it to take care of our actual uniforms. Tox for another $2. It doesn't bother me, Chad. I am for taking them out. Why is it you can't understand what I am saying? Are you just that close-minded, or are you projecting what you think a libertarian is on me?
I mean, I didn't say you were a pedo obsessed with drugs and walking around naked. That's what I think libertarians usually end up being. Like, I mean, if you ever, I swear to God, go on, watch C-SPAN, because they put it on C-SPAN every 4 years, the libertarian conventions, and for some ungodly reason, and I have no idea why, the libertarian conventions always boil down to one guy arguing why it's okay to change the age of consent laws or should be outlawed, and another person talking about why he should be able to do heroin wherever he wants.
Yeah, I know. That's kind of my complaint about the Libertarian Party as well, is that it's usually about,
it boils down
why
to those
can't we
two
sell
things.
heroin to children or wave our penis at traffic? It's just like, good God, guys, seriously.
I mean, Brahma, am I wrong when you watch like a libertarian convention? Isn't that like it always ends up with like those
The
conversations?
Libertarian Party, yes, that is pretty much
Yeah.
what happens every time with the Libertarian Party.
Yeah, so
Tox
I
describes
think,
himself as a civil libertarian.
He's a civil libertarian, which is vastly different.
see, I don't. Take a side. You know, like that's great. I appreciate it. Yeah, it's good to have philosophical points and all that, but in the end, just be realistic about how things operate. This is why I think so many problems with the Freedom Caucus and they seem to have gotten on board, but like the Masseys and the Rand Pauls of the world, where their like alleged principles seem to only show up when it keeps a Republican.
My problem
from
with
advancing
Massey
agenda.
is he will not vote yes on things when we do have power, but he'll vote yes on everything when we are not in power. So under a Democrat, he'll vote yes for every CR. Under a Republican, it's like, nope, this is when I'm going to make a stand.
Exactly.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
it's yeah. So sometimes it's about something that it's got to support the team.
Well, sometimes you've just got to actually effectively use the power that you were given.
Mm-hmm.
So the other major story, which I'm not seeing much out there about it, is the Iranians seem to be putting up some resistance.
Oh, I saw there's a new leak that Khomeini, the Ayatollah, is apparently
Gone.
is fleeing to Russia.
Not gone. It's Plan B. If so, I did see the story. I looked deeper into that one. It's basically he came out and said, "Yeah, my plan is to do the exact same thing that Bashar al-Assad did when in the Syrian rebellion." So you've got everybody kind of rising up in Iran, and he's waiting to see if the security forces can stop it or if the protests are going to intensify. And then, if they intensify, he's going to flee to Russia, just like al-Assad. But maybe we'll be going back to a Persian existence instead of Iran. And the Ayatollah, unlike al-Assad, has a group that would be going with him, not just his kids and his wife. So he's actually trying not to abandon all of his, lieutenants, generals, whatever you want to call them. But yes, protests seem to be rising, and they seem to be pushing back pretty well. But I just don't see anything about it anywhere. I don't. Have you guys seen much about it?
No.
Even
I
on
have not.
Twitter, I'm not seeing a ton. Like you'll see random little tweet, but nothing major about it. And then the Ayatollah story came out today. So I mean, I would love to say more on it, but I haven't seen anything else on it.
I mean, I've seen this this show before. Like we've had what 3 or 4 false starts at Iranian counter revolutions. Now,
Mhm.
I believe this time the Shah's kid, or who is the crown prince or whatever his official title is actually in Iran, allegedly. Trying to push the protesters. But
Good. At least it's coming from within.
yeah, but I don't know. I mean, how much of that? Iran is an interesting situation because they were one of the more secular Middle Eastern countries that had been in operation until the Iranian Revolution in the 70s, where it was mostly the obviously the youth. That again, that's why that magic 10%, it was only like 10-15%, managed to take over the whole country and install the Ayatollah and run it since then. And then they got distracted because they were having a war for the entire 1980s against Iraq, which we were funding on the pro-Iraq side because we were anti-Iranian at the time. And that kind of distracted the Iranian population for a good long time. And then in the 90s, we were kind of, again, we're focused. We lost the ball and we're focused on Iraq for a long time. But I haven't seen, like you said, Brahma, I haven't seen enough to know. Like, you'd think if we were really having a full-blown get rid of the Ayatollah revolution, it would be all over. I would say Telegram would be the one that they would probably be using. I think is very popular over there.
Yeah.
But
I would think there would be more getting out. Yes.
Yeah, and then from there it would be all over X. But maybe we're just being distracted by the Venezuelan side.
Well,
I don't know.
The Iran stuff started before Venezuela went off, I thought, because I started seeing stuff about it at the beginning of the week. So I don't know, but I just find it interesting that I haven't seen any network news cover it. I haven't seen much of the stuff on Twitter covering it. It's kind of weird because it should be a major story.
Well, we all know that the news media has a one-track mind and they can only focus on one thing. So maybe in a month or two after they get over the Venezuela thing, they can talk about that. Oh wait, they won't.
But we even got like the Syrian thing when they were in Damascus surrounding al-Assad. Even the network news was covering that. They at least knew it was going on. I don't see any record of anybody actually knowing that it's even going on the network news right now.
Well, unless they can make Trump look like the bad guy and they're not going to cover it. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just Iran doing Iran. You know what I mean? What is there to say about Trump?
Yeah. That's a good point. But I didn't have much else for this week. Did you have anything else, Chad?
Let me see. I think I had. Well, we've got a very interesting dinner that was being had
between Elon
weekend.
and Trump.
Yeah, the band's getting
Elon
back
was
together.
at the White House or at Mar-a-Lago,
and he's apparently all on board for 26, which could be helpful. If the Roberts court sits on their ass till June, which I could 100% see because Roberts is a dick sometimes, to put out the decision on the Voting Rights Act to nuke it, which would put it past the point where they could use it in this current election cycle, because that would be way too far in for primaries and redistricting. You're having Elon Musk on board to try to put money into a lot of the questionable or touchy zones is good. Oh, by the way, did you see your doppelganger is retiring? By the way,
Chip Roy.
Yep,
it's because he's running for AG in Texas.
Oh, is that what it is? Yeah. I didn't. I get the Republican fundraising emails, but I didn't get past the headline because I didn't care.
Yeah,
once I saw
be
that
around because he's going to be most likely the AG in Texas.
Then there's this one that also I think I'm going to call bullshit on a lot of this. It was Dan Bongino's last day.
Yes.
And Kash Patel gave him his glowing, "Look at you, man. You did so awesome. We had a historic 20% drop in the nationwide murder rate, 100% increase in arrests not related to January 6th, 1,800 gangs, 2,000 kilos of fentanyl." This one is interesting. Nihilistic violent extremism arrests. I like, what is that even a category for?
Wait, nihilistic or what?
Nihilistic violent extremism arrests up 490%.
The fuck is that?
Is that like 2 people that we arrested this time?
Right.
Like, what is that?
It's easy to get 496% increase if no one's ever heard of it. 2, it's the first time anybody's been arrested for it.
Oh, by the way, Brahma, I guess that means that gang that peed on took the dude's rug has finally been caught. The
nihilist dude?
The nihilist Germans.
I mean, say what you want about the tenets of National Socialism. At least that's an ethos.
Wait, I mean, what do they do? They just go around quoting fucking Nietzsche? But aggressive?
Aggressively. If you cut off your Johnson.
Over 6,000 child victims located, up 22%. I don't like the fact that 6,000 being located is only going up 22%. Espionage. This is another one. Espionage arrests up 35%. Like why are we not getting more stories about apparently the espionage operations in the United States? Multiple successful surges.
It's a secret, dude.
Yeah. Including Summer Heat, which had almost 9,000 arrests in 9 months. Was that the Memphis one? I don't even know. By the way, so my commentary on Kash Patel and Bongino is still assholes who didn't do shit. That's where I'm at with them. They are institutionally captured. They didn't really do anything. I mean, all these stats are fine.
I think they got in there and found out it's too embedded. Which at that point, I think they should have started cleaning house.
Yeah, they should have fired. You know, you're allowed to fire more people. Just fire the entire upper echelon leadership. If you think the rank and file agents are okay, that's fine. But anybody mid-level manager and above, fire. They're towing the line. Get them out. I mean, we've on previous shows we've gone over the history of the FBI and why it's a corrupt institution that should be gutted. But the fact that Kash Patel is out here thinking his greatest achievement is moving out of the Hoover building into the Reagan building, woohoo! Good for him.
It is more. The decor though is better. Like it's more feng shui, so that's something.
Yeah,
feng shui.
Yeah. So, and then Dan Bongino is going to go back to being a talking head on the radio in Rumble and pretend that and then he's going to be all sanctimonious about all these things again. Was like, oh, it's too bad there wasn't something you could have done to help with that, Dan.
So, yeah, it's going to be hard for him to complain about things.
The pipe bomber.
But did they? They got shamed into that.
Oh no, Bongino was hitting that. That was the last major thing that he was going over on his radio show before he went in, was getting to the bottom of that one. And that's the one thing that they have gotten done.
Let's see how it actually works out. They got an indictment. That hasn't worked out in a lot of other things lately either.
Yeah. And I was wrong earlier. Massey did vote no in Biden's term as well on the CRs.
Well, he didn't vote no when it mattered. He voted yes on committee.
No, he just votes no on all CRs.
Yeah, but I'm talking about like he didn't, procedural votes to let it. He either didn't vote or he let it go through or voted for it. So the covering their ass way that they do stuff in the House. They do procedural votes. They do votes on the procedure to allow something to move forward. And Massey
Right.
voted for Biden's shit on those to allow it to go to the House floor, and then voted against it when it didn't matter as the actual vote. On Trump's one, he was even voting against it being allowed to go to the House floor. He's a dick. And I hope he gets voted out of Congress because he's an asshole who never plays nice with the team.
It's not likely to happen, but yeah.
He's like Angel Reese. He's the king of the me bound. He wants it all about me. He can go on Bongino's show and on their network on Rumble and be a podcast host. That's what he should be doing. If that's how he wants to do stuff.
And Tina says, "What has Bondi done? Nothing."
Bondi's a useless piece of shit too. The entire Justice Department.
Harmy Dillon's the only one doing anything.
Yeah, Dillon, and all the wins Bondi has gotten are from Dillon's camp, pretty much. I think it's like Bondi's even defending trying to get the entire membership roster of a Second Amendment group in Louisiana that won a case. And then it was Harmy Dillon who had to come in and like rectify that and say, no, we didn't mean to actually ask for the membership list. Sorry about that. She's Bondi is useless. Bondi is in there to protect Susie Wiles' interests. That's my personal opinion on the matter. Is that they go way back on the Florida side. And so Pam Bondi is there to protect what Susie Wiles says needs protecting on the institutional side.
I also think that there is the chance that Bondi is the problem behind Cash and Bongino.
Bondi couldn't tell them not to fire the members of the FBI. He has control over that.
Over the FBI, but not over what's coming out, what's getting done.
Yeah, well, I mean, if I saw that they were rooting out FBI shit and they were firing the entire upper management of the FBI, I'd give them more credit. But they're not doing that either. He's coming out. Him and Bongino were going out doing interviews about how great the members of the FBI were, how they're the most professional, this, that, and the other, and they're the best people, et cetera, et cetera. So no, they're not doing what was in their scope of power to do without Pam Bondi fucking things up. They weren't doing. That's why I say they were captured. And it's really great that Kash Patel is flying his girlfriend around on a government jet. Good for him.
I mean, when you got it, you got it.
Well, the other two is Bondi needs to fucking arrest some people in Minnesota.
Do you think they call it Honeypot 1 when it's in the air?
Honeypot
1? Or was that already taken by Eric Swalwell's girlfriend?
Oh, that's funny.
Oh, Swalwell running for governor
of
California.
What? California. Well, it's fitting.
Yeah, he's a absolute moron. Let me see if I can find the video of what he was saying earlier this week, because he did a few interviews. I think what it basically came down to is he said, well, if ICE is coming in and if they refuse to take off their masks, then I'm just going to make sure that any of them that are actually citizens in California will not have their driver's licenses, because the governor can issue or take away driver's licenses. So it's like, okay, so you're giving CDLs to illegals and you're going to start taking driver's licenses away from citizens.
I mean, it makes sense.
Hold on. Now I want Swalwell to win, because you know what that would be? That would be an absolutely perfect justification to invoke the Insurrection Act and come in there and take that shit over. Because if they
the Supreme Court decision basically gave Trump the green light on the Insurrection Act anyway.
Well, no, but that would be a perfect grounds, because if the governor of a state is basically saying, I am going to war with a federal agency, and what would you call it if there was a state that was acting out against the federal government, what would it be? Could it be called an insurrection?
Chad,
I
we
think
all
that
know
would
the
be-
real solution is to have Bugs Bunny come in with a giant saw and saw California off the continent, shove it away, and say, "South America, take it away."
I'm kind of want to resurrect Gene Hackman and be like, can
Gene
we do your
Hackman's plan.
Superman 1 plan again? If we
Yeah.
shoot the missiles, where does it break off and flood? And just there we
Yes,
go.
where on the fault line is it most susceptible? I thought it was funny that there was a new report. Swalwell has missed the most floor votes of any active member of the House, according to the Post, and he's missed more than Arizona Rep Raul Grijalva. I don't know how his name's spelled. That guy died in March.
Wait,
So
by
he's
me
missed
again?
more votes than a dead man.
Oh my God! Oh my, that's fucking hilarious.
Yeah. Speaking of a dead man, there is The Dead Man for $4.99. I haven't trusted the FBI since the 1930s, and I was born in the late 70s.
Indeed.
Here's another fun little video clip. I'm not going to play the music because it's Unfortunate Son, because obviously we knew that went around. But here you go. You're waking up. It's your Nicholas Maduro, and
Psyop Anime did a great one today. It was fucking great.
And I guess we could have played the clip of Trump actually speaking about it, but I figured most people already saw that.
was it where Trump was like, I don't know, on when you're ranking his press conferences, would you put this one as good as when he was like, the guy died like a dog?
Like a dog.
He died like a dog.
To me, that's still the number one.
He
Trump.
cried. I wouldn't have cried, but he cried.
I'm told he asked for his mother, and we said, we got your mother too.
I did like that they took Maduro's wife too.
Well, yeah, see, they had indictments on her too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, here's Trump just for a little bit of his conference.
We're going to run the country until such time as we can do a safe, proper, and judicious transition. So we don't want to be involved with having somebody else get in, and we have the same situation that we had for the last long period of years. So we are going to run the country until such time as we can do a safe, proper, and judicious transition.
Poor Marco. Look at him. He knows what's coming.
And it has to be
Marco, you're going to be
judicious.
charged Venezuela. Not doing this because you're Cuban. Doing
We
this
know
because
you've
you're
got like
Mexican.
10 other positions.
Because that's what we're all about. We want peace, liberty, and justice for the great people of Venezuela. And that includes many from Venezuela that are now living in the United States and want to go back to their country. It's their homeland. We can't take a chance that somebody else takes over Venezuela that doesn't have the good of the Venezuelan people in mind. We've had decades of that. We're not going to let that happen. We're there now, and what people don't understand, but they understand as I say this, we're there now, but we're going to stay until such time as the proper transition can take place. So we're going to stay until such time as we're going to run it, essentially, until such time as a...
You can tell he was up all night. All of those guys were watching
He's
the
got
operation.
a lot of fucking, some big ass bags under his eyes. So yeah.
Well, remember, this was the next morning they did this press conference. So
Yeah.
I'm sure nobody got much sleep.
proper transition can take place. As everyone knows, the oil business in Venezuela has been a bust, a total bust, for a long period of time. They were pumping almost nothing by comparison to what they could have been pumping and what could have taken place. We're going to have our very large United States oil companies, the biggest anywhere in the world, go in, spend billions of dollars, fix the badly broken infrastructure, the oil infrastructure, and start making money for the country.
Yep. So just to back that up a little bit, oil production in 2008 was approximately 2.4 million barrels per day. And in 2020, it was down to 500,000 barrels per day. And currently it's been running at about 956,000 barrels per day. So production's been way down. Part of that was when they nationalized it, it was the American companies that were actually the ones who had the technology and the skill to actually tap the wells. That's part of the reason Exxon was in there from the beginning, was because basically there was almost a 50-50 split between Exxon and Venezuela. But they needed somebody who actually knew how to get the oil out of the ground, because sitting on the oil doesn't do anything.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, then when they nationalized it and basically kicked out all the American companies, we abandoned all of our equipment there as we were getting out. So they were just trying to do production based on the equipment that was left there without actually knowing how to do most of it. So he's right about the oil part of it, on how much less that they were producing. So, yeah. That was President Trump.
Yeah, and just to kind of give you, this is, I'm going to share the futures market for natural gas, what it's done since the operation in Venezuela. So
gas dropped.
Nice candlestick.
It did the drop,
Yeah.
and then it went up a little, and then it's been kind of, but that massive drop. So the interesting thing is, generally geopolitical conflict will spike prices. This is the time where people know that Venezuela has so much capacity that if run even moderately adequate, can just start pumping into the market between natural gas reserves and crude oil reserves, that the price oil is also back down below $57 a barrel. Yeah, and this is another thing, bringing Venezuela oil production all the way up to where it should be would cripple the Russian economy. We've talked about how the oil based, economy of Russia requires costs above $30 a barrel to just break even. Above $40 a barrel to really start making enough profit, it needs $50 or higher to be able to fund war operations. If you go below $50 a barrel, like just to fund general Russian government, they're not going to be able to do crazy shenanigans, which is what I think part of Trump's master plan is. Like, you get all this stuff going. So we've talked about how 2026, with all the pieces they've put into play, could end up being a very, very good economic year for the United States. And I think not just economically strong for the domestic market, which is where most people are concerned, because I think rightly so, they understand that the midterm elections is based probably completely on people's pocketbooks. This is also going to lead to peace dividends throughout the world, because once Russia makes peace in Ukraine, when we talk about Russia's oil production coming back online, it becomes no longer sanctioned, and that'll flood into the legitimate market, and it'll drive prices down that way too.
Yeah.
To answer your question, Tommy, when you're talking about the landman, that's because United States production, like if you are pumping oil in the US, where you have to pay people United States wages and United States medical benefits and United States taxes, you need that $68 to $78 a barrel to cover all your costs. But in a lot of places in the world, you don't have to pay those things to pump oil
at the same rates.
And this is where sometimes an American business sector may take a hit. Yeah, or the oil production within the U.S. might slow down because our costs are much higher to produce. But the general improvements to the economy from cheap energy will more than offset some of that slowdown in oil economy. And that's where, you can't just necessarily only focus on one part of your economy. If we were protectionist against American oil production only, it would hurt other parts of our economy.
Yeah. I did kind of want to show the scene from Jack Ryan, because it kind of does nail it. I mean, even though they were using a far right dictator as the example instead of a far left, but we'll probably get struck for this, but who cares?
And this was the Amazon show, but yeah.
Yeah. So Jim from The
Great
Office
show.
is going to explain to us.
What would you assume is the most major threat on the world stage? Anybody, just call it out. You don't have to raise your hand.
Definitely Russia.
Definitely Russia. That's confident. I like it. Who says Russia? Anybody agree with her? Hands? Okay, great. Who else?
China.
Stop yelling at me, but China is a good answer. Anybody? Who else? China?
North Korea?
North Korea. Any North Korea takers? And Venezuela? Anybody? Nope. Oh, yeah. One guy in the back. A little worried about Venezuela. Everybody's cool with Venezuela? No threat? Okay. Let me ask you this. Which one of these places can claim to have the largest oil deposit on the planet? More than Saudi?
Venezuela.
More than Iran?
Good, Mad.
Thank you.
Okay, what about things like gold? More than all the
Venezuela.
mines in Africa combined? The fact is that Venezuela is arguably the single greatest
Venezuela.
resource of oil and minerals.
What?
Sorry, Venezuela.
Venezuela.
Hey, Kite.
Minerals on the planet. So, why is this country in the midst of one of the greatest humanitarian crises in modern history? Let's meet President Nicolas Reyes. After rising to power on a way.
We really don't
Maduro
need to get into
standard.
the fictional part.
But what this is the funny part. They actually had exactly what fucking happened in Venezuela, and they still needed to change it to being a right-wing nationalist instead of being the fact that it had been run by Hugo Chavez and then succeeded by Nicolas Maduro for 26 years, going back probably a little longer, going back to the late 90s. And that those people were the
98.
ones, so
Well, again, knowing that
28
this is
years.
Hollywood, they have to make it a right-wing individual. They can't target the left.
Right.
Exactly.
Which is why I was upset with that season. I thought it was still well acted and everything, but it was like, really? You guys couldn't just go with reality here?
No, because remember, they'd be telling on their side. That's the issue.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, interesting clip.
So I took
Making
a
its
class
way
like
around
that
again.
in college. It was called the New World Order. It was basically like future casting. It was I went to
Wolfpack or
college.
black and white?
Well, it was designed because the college I went to was in the proximity of Washington D.C. and I was a political science major, so they were teaching you how to do analyst work and how to present basically what he's doing. Like that is a briefing you would be giving as a case analyst to possibly military or political appointees. And so you were future casting in a lot of the stuff, and the professor I had was an old school Cold War guy who had come up, and he was a Russia expert at the time, but he was like, no, Russia's not the problem now. He was like, honestly, it's resource. He was like, what is he was big on the big resource war of the future was fresh water. That was gonna be like, forget oil, fuck oil. There's plenty of oil. If we needed to get around to it, there's oil all over the place we can pump out, but fresh water is a problem. There's no easy answer to fresh water, and we're getting through way too much of it. So he was kind of like Jack Ryan, where that he's like everyone else in class is like, well, no, oil's the because we were post Gulf War, we were like, no, oil's the big, it's oil wars. Nope. No one gives. It's population boom. He's like, no, there's plenty of space. We got plenty of space. In fact,
space.
And then he goes, and population growth is slowing down a ton. In fact, the gray dawn is going to be the real big problem. he was like, start looking at Japan and just civilized and Europe and like in America's at, and this was around 2000, 2001. He's like, America's on the cusp of it, but Europe and all these, so our population growth is slowing way down. China had their one child policy. So he's like, they're actually going to have a big problem once their older population dies. They're going to have negative population growth, like out the wazoo. So he was like Jack Ryan was in that scene where he's like, look at the like, it's not what you think, what you've been trained to think it is. You got to look beyond and see. It's like fresh water is going to be the big resource war of the future, because even countries that have all these other things that are rich need fresh water all the time. I mean, Brahma, look at you out in Colorado. Like, the water wars out there are effectively like possibly bankrupting whole swaths of people with how much you guys are having to pay for your water. It's,
because
it's ridiculous.
The rights all went to California and Nevada.
Yep.
For our runoff.
God, there's a book, I'm trying to remember what it's called, but it basically talks about that, where it's basically it was a cyberpunk like novel that basically kind of dealt with like the whole resource wars. Specifically, it was like water with Texas, and I think maybe it was like Oklahoma or something like that.
And what's great is, honestly, with the worry about the rising sea levels and global warming, that's a perfect resource to put in desalination plants to solve your fresh water problem. But then there's the energy cost.
Doing it for a while.
But nuclear is really the only cost-effective way to do desalination.
Oh, you mean there also like a massive downside to desalination, though?
Takes a lot of energy to do.
Well, no, I mean, I thought there's like an actual environmental impact when it comes to it.
That you'd be pumping water out of the ocean, but if you're worried that the sea levels are going up, you've got plenty of extra water. Now, the issue with pumping water out of the ocean at that point is, if the sea levels go up, the issue isn't so much that the I don't buy into the hype about the water that is coming in, and somehow flooding the entire like East Coast. The issue is that a slight change in the composition of the water, because the glaciers that melt are fresh water, they will actually reduce the salt content of the ocean, and that could be massively disastrous to the sea life, because
detrimental to certain species.
Yep. So that
I thought the other thing too was like with desalination is the whole thing with the salt, and where do you put the salt, and potentially over salinizing the ocean.
Well, then we've got a lot of new salt-based batteries that we could start building. I mean, I'm not lying. I'm not kidding. No. Brahma, you've seen those, right? The salt,
the newest, the technology where it's basically a battery getting rid of the lithium ion and just going to salt.
I mean, those sea salt shakers don't fill themselves, Comix.
No, I mean, that's
Kitty
fair.
said you could just put it on her fries.
That's a lot of fries you have to salt. No, but like legit, I just remember something there being like a huge issue with desalination and potentially over salinizing the ocean, which would also not be good. The opposite direction of what Chad was talking about with the the ice caps melting.
Sure.
Or the glaciers, or not glaciers, the polar ice.
Well, shall we do some memes?
Go to the roads to the winter. Oh, God damn it. The Steelers won. Son of a bitch. Sorry.
Chad's back to sports ball.
The game's over now, and now Mike Tomlin is going to survive another year. He's a terrible coach.
I just looked down at the crawl. Jack Ryan, co-creator, surprised by parallels between Syria's and Venezuela strikes.
That's hilarious.
That's funny.
Yeah, that's art imitating reality at that point. Or reality imitating art.
Memes part 1. All right, here we go.
All right, here's the memes.
Bet you $20 you can't speed run Venezuela Baron to Donald.
They speedrunned it. Did you see the tweet that was going around that the Will coming out as gay scene in Stranger Things took longer than the strike on Venezuela?
Yes, I did. That was funny.
It did.
It did.
It was more coherent storytelling, that's for sure. See that thing we just did to Venezuela? That's what I want done to Minneapolis, Seattle, Sacramento, Austin, Boise, Columbus, Detroit, Madison, all of Nova, Raleigh, Atlanta, Lewiston, and Chicago. Yeah.
Oh, there's plenty more on that list.
All right. We've got the Democrat NPC getting his new software update. Let the Somalians defraud us. You put in the click. Release the narco dictator. Libs after they just hung their Somali flag and now they have to find a Venezuelan. All right. Part 2.
That's funny.
Trump at the United Nations. Technically, he invited me. Because he did have, and that's
he did. Maduro was like, "Come get me."
Yeah,
Come get me, big guy.
And by the way, the Colombian president said the same thing.
Yep.
He said that his people would rise up in the streets to protect him. Let's test that theory and see how far.
I doubt that.
I had a video of it, but then it had music over it, so I couldn't use it. Because it was basically Maduro going, "Come get me," and then the music starts, and it cuts to Rubio, and he's like, "They effed around, and now they're in the effing, now they're in the finding out phase of this." So,
is this actually a tweet?
It was easier to capture the leader of Venezuela than it was to find a kid in Minnesota Somali daycare.
That's fucking funny.
Adam Hunter, comedian. All right, Landman with good old Billy Bob Thornton. That's right, no more wind turbines. I'm in Venezuela and I'll start pumping oil in a fucking hour.
That'll solve the problem of the offshore rig.
Yep.
It only took 75 days to go from no kings to leave the dictator alone.
Yep.
All right.
That shit's fucking funny.
Trump violated international law with the interesting, do you have a Delta Force to go arrest him? If we could arrest the criminals in our country, that'd be great. Yeah.
Yes. That would also be nice.
That'd also be very nice.
If you can come in on Sunday and do that, that'd be great. Yeah. Appreciate it. Don't forget the cover sheets.
Hey, Tim Walls, we're going to need those TPS reports.
I said no new wars. I didn't say anything about beatdowns, bitch slaps, and curb stomps.
I mean, technically, it's more of an invasion than a war. I mean, it was over in 6 hours. I mean, it's kind of hard to call that a fucking war.
It was World War III, and you know it. We're actually on like World War VI by now.
Yeah. It's probably 8.
We've got a Venezuelan citizen trying to say thank you, Trump, and getting interrupted by a pink-haired liberal saying, no, no, no. Let me tell you why Trump freeing you from a dictatorship was bad. I know more than you or your lived experience.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Did we have more? Yep. Part 4. Oh, fine. It keeps going.
And then we've also got one from McCracken somewhere out there.
On President Trump removing Maduro, I haven't seen the Democrats this angry since their Somali daycare money laundering scheme was exposed.
Last week?
How I sleep knowing all the commies are having a terrible day.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, well, that's a repeat. All right, silicone testicle implants for the Republicans in Congress without a set. Yep. All right, then we've got 5. POV, you're Maduro at 0200 on Saturday, January 3rd.
That's pretty funny.
Maduro about to tuck himself into bed. Delta Force 6 Zions deep.
People love their Zen.
Yep. People asking what the military necessity of bombing Chavez mausoleum was because fuck that commie. That's why.
Exactly.
You still bitching about Trump? Ain't you supposed to be a Canadian already?
That's funny.
All right, so there's that one.
And while you grab McCrackens, we got $1 from Eric K. Obama bombed Libya for 7 months straight and killed thousands of people. He did not need approval by anyone, and the New York Times called it humanitarian.
Yep.
Now Libya has things like slavery again.
I think they had it beforehand, but
That's really loud and can't see it.
Yep.
I'm trying to figure because it's not a meme; it's a clip from Saturday Night Live, and it's the classic
Jane, you ignorant slut.
I think we would probably get copyright hit pretty hard if we played that. SNL is really bad about that.
Yeah, SNL is bad. But it was about Marco Rubio to Margaret. Margaret, you ignorant slut. Lex Ludindi comes in at the end of the show with 10 gifted memberships. Thank you, Lex. Nice. Now I'll have to update the credits again that nobody pays attention to because we talk
Never seen them once.
Then we do another show.
Oh, hey, it's Kitay in the chat.
Yeah.
Weird.
And Dead Man sends a pile of poop with a face for $1. Thank you.
One should.
Did you get Mod Eric K's dollar one?
I thought I did, but let me double check.
This one.
Yeah. We read it.
Just making sure
I said thank you.
Clips. All right.
Because the outro music is Poopy Pants. Thanks, Jaffa. I'll have Mad make some outro music.
What?
Yeah, if you're a co-host, you can do something around here.
God.
You do it for all the other shows.
That is true.
It is your favorite thing to do.
I do enjoy it.
What do you got coming up this week, Mad?
Well, we have an amazing story on MadEPAP Tuesday, 9:15 p.m. Central. It's going to be awesome. I got a great one for Earth Day. I know that's like April, but I'm excited about that one.
Cool.
But yeah, this week's story is going to be great. I already have it picked out and everything.
And we're not going to get any hints, are we?
Nope.
All right. Comics?
Besides
your
going
schedule.
to bed, that's about it.
You're great at self-promotion.
Breaking
Yeah,
thing.
I know.
Allegedly, Tim Walz is going to drop out of the Minnesota governor race in 2026.
Oh, no. Why?
Why would he need to do that?
Oh no! How awful! That's totally not surprising.
Unless he's dropping out into a orange jumpsuit, I don't care.
Yeah.
He's going to make an
you
announcement
can.
about his political future Monday.
Yep. Well, he's got to run for president, so that's why he's dropping out. Anyway,
Good luck
guys.
with that.
Yeah, you can find me on my channel Monday and Thursday at 9 p.m. Central as we talk about things and stuff typically related to entertainment.
Oh, I do have a new Madsplanation Animal Kingdom coming out.
Do you?
Yep.
What are we explaining?
Otters.
Okay.
On that note, good night, folks. I'll catch you next time.
See you, Comics.
Later, Comics.
Later, Comics.
Chad, what's going on with you this week?
We got MadEPAP on Tuesday, which, again, I think for context on the Monroe Doctrine background, the eggnog riot is the appropriate MadEPAP to go take advantage of watching. And then on Friday, the Ascendant Art podcast, which, Matt, are you probably good for that one?
Yeah,
Or are you
yeah, I'll be
probably, all right. Cool. So we'll probably have the usual team. I don't know if there's anything
coming
new
out
even
this week?
coming out. Is the little monkey movie coming out where where the monkey goes
yeah.
nuts and kills everybody?
I don't know if it's coming out.
I know that's
I
coming
do.
out in January. So that one might be. I might try to get that one reviewed if it is actually coming out.
Kay Roberts, we played the Chappelle clip at the beginning of the show.
Yeah, it's like, come get me. Oh, you don't got no army? Fuck up. Shut the fuck up. which is, by the way, the official stance of the United States when it comes to international law trying to come for anybody in our military or government, which is shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
You
make me.
we do not recognize your International Court of Justice in any way. So so Ascendant Art podcast Friday, and then I'm gonna be on with Script Doctor Saturday this upcoming week to talk on his show Saturday.
There's a
at
crawl
7
for
p.m.
Mad. Cowboys suffer consecutive losing seasons as Dak Prescott is benched and defender is ejected in lopsided loss.
Okay, that's misleading headline. Dak Prescott didn't get benched because he had like poor play. They were like, we're not going to get this guy killed in a meaningless game.
We have an important season coming up because
what it said. It said
it's our
he's
year.
benched.
The tone of that crawl is trying to imply that Dak was benched because he was shitty.
You know it's wrong because I was a Giants fan coming to the defense of him.
Yeah, I was upset they benched him because I was like, come on, keep him in. You can run up the score. Come on. Instead,
I was glad. I didn't want him to play last week either.
Yeah. Yeah. And instead we got Aaron Rodgers in the playoffs. Things aren't right.
Unvaccinated Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, but as much as I like some of his shit, he's still such a dick. He throws his teammates under the bus constantly. He's
did they deserve
he
it?
He is the opposite of Patrick Mahomes. If you ever listen to Patrick Mahomes do he's constantly like, nope, it was me. It was me. In spite of the fact that he's got shit receivers who are dropping the ball left and right.
Rhaegar's got a request for you, Chad. Can you ask Script Doctor to get back on Versus? We need more diverse opinions on movies on that show.
Yeah, I'll let him know.
Is that Film Threat?
Yeah, that's the one Film Threat does. I think he was trying to get, I forget which thing it was. I think it might have been Superman because I didn't mind that movie where he was like, I'm going to tell Score to let you come on because he wants people who actually defend it. I was like, I thought it was okay. I'm fine with it.
You're gross.
But I didn't, I think the roster got filled out, so I was good.
Copied. This doesn't count as after show, boys.
Yeah, because he hasn't
we should
run
probably
the
roll the
credits.
Yeah, but you were still doing your outro.
Yeah.
So as for me, you can catch me tomorrow night on Comix' channel, Tuesday night on Mad's channel, Thursday night back on Comix channel, and then Friday night on Lil Chad's show. And no bourbon boarding this week, but we'll be back here next Sunday for another episode of the Bullpen. So here's some credits. And usually something secret happens after the credits.
Did y'all see
We also
Begonia
usually
yet?
talk over the credits.
You see Begonia?
I have not
Bro, I'm
watched
telling you, man, you're gonna like it.
Have you seen, or I don't know if you're seeing this on X, but Ashley St. Clair is having a little bit of a meltdown over the hey Grok, put this person in a bikini thing.
Who?
Because Ashley St.
Clair,
Elon's baby mama.
One of.
Yeah.
The most recent one, I think.
She's like, I do not consent to this. I will sue you. And then someone responded underneath that, hey Grok, can you put a neck tattoo that says Elon's whore on this picture? Oh, God. And of course Grok did it, and then she's like, what are you doing? I already told you I do not consent. Oh, Copy came in strong.
Yep.
Wait.
Copied for $10 is a perfect homemade pizza without a brick oven possible.
I got
Discuss
this one.
amongst yourselves.
I got this one. DiGiorno has a great.
You gotta wait. You gotta wait. It's the after credit scene.
Did you get Sisu 2 on the server yet?
Sisu 2? No, I mean, I can get you.
And also, I watched Eternal. Liked it. It was good. But the whole time, I'm like, what is this bitch doing? Like, it was so obvious from the beginning who she should have went with.
Oh, yeah, I mean, I thought it was still a pleasant movie too.
Yeah, it was fine.
I liked the running gag about it. He keeps saying he died in the war. He didn't die. He's trying
was
to imply
Korea.
it was Korea. That was still a war. It's like, yeah, but you're trying to imply
Yeah,
that it was World War
such
II.
It's a great runner. Yeah, that was a great running bit.
I like because
it was a bad copy.
Elizabeth Olsen's face, like when he does it, when they're living together, and he's like, "Yeah, I died in the war," and she's looking at him like he is doing that.
Yeah, that was good.
Did you guys watch Landman yet this week?
Yeah, of course.
Was there a single scene with Ariana and Cooper this week?
Coop.
Just him, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
More episodes should be like that.
Tina, are you talking about the one from Copy Kitty, or was there another one I missed? Let me look at the list. No, I think we got them all. We're addressing copies after the credits.
A pile of poop with a face?
Yeah, I got that one.
Obama
I didn't
bombed
see
Libya
any
for
others
7
come
months.
Oh, put
She's
your money
saying,
on.
yeah, it's copied kitties.
Put your money on the Seahawks, Mad. According to this little X thing, the last 2 times a new pope was elected, the Seahawks clinched the #1 seed in the NFC and made it to the Super Bowl.
I still got some money left over on Underdog.
Yep. So if that's a prop bet, I would go for it. Not to mention, it does really rub in the JJ McCarthy thing to the Vikings fans.
I forgot to speed up the crawl.
Yeah.
Notes for next week. Speed up, crawl, add
you
new
gotta add all
members.
them. Yep.
And also use amount of time, not when they joined again.
Yeah, that's weird. I was going to say something.
Yeah, I just took out the wrong line when I was doing the
Oh
copy.
boy,
over.
how long is this?
Thankfully, very long.
Guys, y'all need to stop. You need to start canceling these memberships so we can speed this up.
Screw you, Matt.
Oh, something. Hold on. New tweet from the pizza people. Papa John's, 2.3 miles from the Pentagon, is experiencing an extreme spike in activity, 476 above normal as of Sunday evening. Extreme Pizza, a half-mile from the Pentagon, also reports a spike of 200% higher than normal on a Sunday. Shit's probably getting real in Iran.
That would be my guess, as Iran's popping off.
I mean, let it roll, bro. You know what I mean? It's like it's like what's those bets called, man? Like you bet one, no, you bet one, and then there's another one that you have to win.
Parlay. It's a parlay. Donald Trump's like, I've got a 3-country parlay.
Yeah.
I was like, it's like we hit the first leg, which was Venezuela. Second leg of the parlay is Iran. North Korea, Kim Jong, you fucker, watch out. Your parlay leg number 3.
By the way, these credits, it feels like the end of Stranger Things. So fucking long for nothing.
Yeah, and it's just as gay.
Yeah. Ugh,
Well, Mad.
Stranger Things was horrible.
Next week, when you give me my new closing song.
Yeah,
we'll
I'm gonna
fix
work
it up.
on it.
There's the last one.
Wait, it doesn't say anything. It says joined 14 months ago.
It was Eric Myers.
Oh, I didn't see a name. All right, so
I'm gonna remove Comix.
So
all right, should we refresh the
DiGiorno's
question?
Detroit style pizza, really good.
When she
Hold on,
says
she
perfect
said
homemade pizza, I
homemade.
don't think she means frozen.
It's not
pizza.
delivery.
It's DiGiorno.
But it's DiGiorno. Like, you're not making the dough. You're not putting the sauce on it. By the way, people, the biggest problem that they have with pizzas, they tend to over sauce homemade pizza. They put way too much sauce. Like, when you watch a professional pizza guy, they take that ladle and they spread it out over the whole pizza for like one ladle. You don't need sauce everywhere. It's going to bake in just fine.
Agreed.
Some of us like extra sauce.
What are you going to go to Chicago and have some pizza soup?
Ugh. I've
I'm
actually
just going to
grilled
put
pizza
another half
before.
ladle on.
Have you ever grilled pizza? It has a
Yes.
smoky kind of taste to it.
I've smoked pizza too.
I did not have that one in my parlay, which is India and China about to go a shooting war again, which, I'm okay with it.
But yeah, no, for the
Have fun,
super
guys.
chat, the brick oven, I don't have a brick oven. So I'm gonna say yes, it is possible.
Well, they make those things where you can put them outside on like your patio where they're the steel, like little pizza ovens, and you can do the wood chips or charcoal, however you want to.
Kind of like a fire pit, only it's a brick oven.
Yeah. Grilled
Yes,
pizza, copied?
Yeah.
Guys will try to grill anything.
Mm-hmm.
I have grilled so much stuff that it wasn't supposed to be grilled, and it still comes out awesome. It's great.
Twinkies, Snickers.
Like what is it? My wife, like, I've got some fresh vegetables if it's summertime and it's grill season. I was like, I'll just grill them. She's like, no, I'm gonna steam them. I was like, no. I'm gonna put them in with some butter, wrap it up some foil. I'll do it on the grill. It'll be better.
Yeah. Same with corn, corn on the cob, and pineapple. It's my family's favorite thing that we do during the summer is I smoke pineapple.
I bet you smoke some stuff during the summer at the Bro Over, most likely. Some sausage.
No, but I made pulled pork at the Bro Over.
Yeah, that was good, man.
It was especially good at like 3 a.m.
Yeah.
Whatever time that was.
Yeah, when what's that guy that never talks to us now?
Garrett.
Oh, that's his name. Anyways.
Oh, has he ghosted you?
No. I've talked to him on every holiday.
Oh, so he's ghosted us, another person.
Well, to be
No, I
honest,
think
I haven't-
Mad just doesn't have his actual phone number.
That's a smart move on his part.
True. Can't disagree.
Mad, this is my favorite quote, tweet or X post, whatever it is for you. Post the games today. The Las Vegas Raiders are soon to be Super Bowl contenders next year. All they have to do is do a good job of filling this role in the offseason. Quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end, offensive line, defensive line, cornerback, safety, free safety, kicker, head coach, defensive coordinator, offensive coordinator, special teams, general manager, and owner.
I mean, they're almost there. I like Gentry though.
Oh, well, have you seen the new rumor is Brady is pushing them to hire Flores as head coach and Daboll as OC and draft the kid from Indiana.
I mean, I want Flores down here for our D.
How did we get back on this?
Because Matt and I are actual Americans who enjoy football.
Yeah,
so we
America.
talk about it. Because
Yeah, but
honestly,
Copy asked a question with money, and you're
we
the
were
one
talking-
who's always
we-
begging for money.
well, I thought
think
we
we
were
answered
addressing
it.
Yeah, we were talking about.
We didn't
pizza
really.
for-
We just went to grilling everything.
All right. The
Wait,
secret.
either one of you have a brick oven?
All right.
No, I do not.
Yes, it is possible to do without a brick oven because brick oven pizza is a very specific style that you get a crunchy flatbread kind of crust with it.
Yeah, I like crust though.
And not
I like it
not
stuffed.
everybody likes that. So I think it's very possible to get a nice homemade pizza without it. The real thing is just don't oversauce it and then make sure your dough is good. And it takes a while to get that to what it's, and because people have different
You need a few
tastes.
hours because you need to let it rise and proof.
Yeah, you
correctly.
got to proof it like usually. I do 2 proofs. Do you do a second?
When I have time to, yes.
Yeah, so I would recommend letting your dough
And I always
proof
do
twice.
pepperoni on top of cheese, not under the cheese.
Yeah, I think, well,
And I use chopped garlic all over the pizza.
the reason you would do the pepperoni on top is so you can dab some of the oil buildup. Like pepperoni, when you bake it on a pizza, it gets very oily, and you want to kind of.
No, I'm fine with the oil.
You sick bastard.
I just like it crisped up a little bit. And it doesn't crisp up under the cheese. And make sure you bake it long enough that the cheese actually starts to brown.
By the way, if you're gonna really go strong, salami is a better topping than pepperoni.
I don't know about that one there, but
Salami is pepperoni perfected.
I hate salami.
How can you like pepperoni and hate salami?
because
The
they're
only
two
thing
different
I
things.
like pepperoni on is pizza and I don't eat pepperoni outside of that.
Have you tried salami as a topping on pizza?
Actually, I take that back. I eat pepperoni on meatball subs as well.
Wait a second. You add pepperoni to a meatball sub for what purpose?
More meat? Why not?
A meatball sub is sacrosanct. You got to. It's just
Chad,
a meatball, man.
I've actually made spaghetti sauce that I chop up pieces of pepperoni and put it into it as well.
I mean, you can add a meat. Yeah, you're making a meat sauce.
Yeah.
By the way, it's not a spaghetti sauce. It's just fucking sauce. Spaghetti is just the pasta
sauce.
you're using. What, you don't use rigatoni, ziti, penne?
Not for red sauces.
What?
I pretty much use fettuccine and spaghetti.
Fettuccine.
And elbow macaroni for macaroni and cheese.
Why would... No, rigatoni is actually one of the best pastas to use just for eating. Also, if you're using a red sauce. I don't get you, bro. That's weird. Like it's spaghetti.
I
is
like
not
spaghetti.
The only. Do you ever mix in angel hair or
No.
the different gauges of spaghetti?
Yes. Thin spaghetti and spaghetti. It's nowhere near angel hair, though.
So why do you have your problem with angel hair?
Because I don't like the texture as much. Too soft.
Too soft.
Slimy. Well, you don't have to. You just don't overcook it. With angel hair, you're talking about a 5 minutes.
Or you can cook spaghetti.
Angel hair is a great pasta to use, especially if you're doing a like an herb butter pasta with some sausage. It blends very well.
How long do you need this freaking song?
What song?
For the outro.
A minute and a half, 2 minutes. We just speed up the crawl to whatever the song length is.
All right.
I think the
Do we usually go 3 hours?
Song is like
So that
2.5 hours. Me and Chad have been doing 3 hours for the past 2 or 3 weeks.
Because we get with super chats and people enjoy, and this is usually, it's been food topics people have liked seeing.
Yes, people seem to like the food topics.
Yeah. I mean, where do you come down on it, spaghetti versus angel hair, man?
Man, I'm so burnt out on spaghetti from when I was in college because it was one of the cheap things to make. You know what I mean? Like I'm good. I haven't had spaghetti since then.
Like 20 years ago.
Yeah, exactly. Haven't had it since.
I went full ramen was my thing.
Oh yeah, ramen.
When I was in college, the ramen case was like $2, $2-3. Just go to Costco or Sam's
for a brick
Club
of 20 of them
and get your chicken flavored ramen pasta. I hated the shrimp.
I get the Shin ramen, the one that's like super hot. I still eat that. It's an easy lunch. Takes no time. Also has no nutritional value. Southern Belle likes angel hair.
I think, yeah, angel hair. The different pauses have different places for different types of stuff. Gotta be in. Now this came up. Do you ever break your spaghetti before you put it?
No, you better not.
Thank you. I swear to God, I almost yelled at my wife so hard. Now she thinks it's hilarious to try to do this in front of me. Like now
there was a whole TikTok trend a few years ago of women doing that in front of their Italian husbands.
I actually was shaking. I was like, no. I was like, what the fuck did you do? What are you doing? Now this last week I did like slow cooked meatballs and sauce and everything, and she actually took the knife and started cutting the spaghetti on her plate, and I was like, why are you doing that? She's like, what, so I can eat it? And I was like, if you know how to twirl spaghetti, you don't need to ever cut it. And she was trying to teach our son to do it her way, and I was like, no, stop. We're not doing this. It's like this is the first time we've had parenting disagreement, and I'm overruling you on it. Like, I looked at my son and I was like, put the fork. I was like, this is how you twirl it proper. If you need to start working with a spoon at the beginning to get used to it, we can do it that way. But
Rager says, I cut the spaghetti because screw that.
What, you heathen.
And copied said ramen or angel hair to me. Ramen. But I only cook ramen right until it starts coming apart. Because I do not like soggy ramen noodles at all. If it cooks too long, I just throw it away.
You gotta, I mean, when you're dealing with stuff that thin, you gotta be really on the clock to keep it from getting
3
mushy.
minutes ramen.
I get really, so this is another thing with my wife. Like when she makes, and because she does as a side for when she cooks dinner, like the Kraft macaroni and cheese, and she overcooks the shit out of it. And I was like,
oh yeah, I need those to still be somewhat firm.
Yeah, I'm like, the box says 8 minutes. You should really be clocking it at around 6.5, so that it still has some actual, like, shape to it.
Yeah.
And she'll be like, I was like, when I come out, I'm done with work and dinner's played. All right, what do we have? The mac and cheese looks like mush. I'm like,
And that stuff doesn't keep at all. If you don't eat it like the second you put everything into it, it just turns completely to mush no matter how little you cooked it.
Yeah, and then she's like, what, it wasn't great? And I was like, no, it was fine. She's like, why, what, you didn't like it? I was like, you did fine, because I'm not going to criticize at this point. It's fine. It is what it is. It's like, we've been married too long. I'm not going to try to fix this. There's no point. She's like, why do you sound like resigned to it? I was like, because you're never going to cook things right. So I don't need to worry about it.
I'll do the Kraft every now and then, but usually I just boil some elbow macaroni and throw in a whole thing of Cheese Whiz. I wouldn't eat Cheese Whiz outside of that, but it works fine for macaroni and cheese.
Cheese Whiz is ridiculous. It's like
Gross.
it's like Velveeta, which is an artificial cheese product.
Yes, that's why it can keep at room temperature forever,
and why it has a melting point of like 80 degrees.
All right. Well, I'm not a foodie.
It's mostly plastic.
You're
and
not
I'm
a
working
foodie?
on a fucking outro. So
Why don't you ask questions about
I'm
the
outie.
outro?
I don't need any questions. I got it.
Okay.
Okay.
You're gonna like it.
What if
Hope you like greatness.
I like rock.
We'll see.
All right. We'll see you Tuesday, man.
All right. See you guys.
Later, man.
Bye, chat.
He said that so angrily.
Yeah. Because he's been asked to do something on the channel.
Well, he's a co-host.
Yes, by his own demand. I guess Comix is a co-host now too. Everybody's just a co-host.
I mean, next week
Keri will stay a panelist.
Yeah, are we? She's. Yeah, Velveeta is disgusting. Thank you, Jaffo. It is.
Yes, Velveeta is disgusting.
It is.
Cheese Whiz is only slightly above it.
Yes, the pasta in Italy is much better. They don't. There are people who allegedly have. There's a lot of people who were told they had, what is the gluten bullshit? Where they're
whether you're allergic to gluten.
Where you're allergic to gluten, and then they'll go and eat stuff like in Italy where they don't use that stuff, and they're just fine with it. It's a lot of the other stuff we put onto our wheat and other things in the US.
Yeah, it's the same thing with the bread over there and the cheeses. They don't process them the same way. Like their white bread is not just bleached, which pretty much makes it completely unnutritious. Celiac disease, Rhaegar says. is the gluten one you were looking for. I
Yeah,
think,
celiacs.
Chad.
That is, yep, 100. Yep, that's the bullshit thing where it's not actually celiacs. It's really it's the pesticides and other shit. You know, all the stuff that Bill Gates wants to put on all our farm products. And by the way, keep an eye out for
Right
those
after he
ticks.
blocks out the sun.
Yeah, watch. You know, keep an eye out for the ticks that make you allergic to red meat, because those are real and coming. And they're in no
Yep.
way a bioengineered, government NGO thing to do that.
I'm pretty sure there are some pastas that do get imported over here that I mean, there's a lot of them that have Italian names that are not actually pasta from outside of the US, but there are a few that actually do make it over here. We'll have to look up the list sometime of which ones are actually imported versus which fake names are just trying to sound Italian and not actually from there.
Like Barilla and San Giorgio and all those.
Yes. You ready to go back to work?
I mean, I worked on Friday. It's like that was, or
so did I.
That wasn't a holiday. It was the second day of the year. It's fine. Yeah, I was working.
Yeah, I worked Friday, which just felt weird and wrong to go back for one day and do nothing. I don't think the phone rang once. So I just did end of the year crap.
Well, you do have to do those closeouts. How your numbers do all right?
Yeah, we did pretty good. Enough to make bonus in the fourth quarter, so.
Yay.
Yippee. That covers the Christmas bonuses we gave out.
Yay.
But yeah, it's going to be weird getting back to it full time because we don't have another break till what, MLK? Which I only get off because
like
it's
2
corporate
weeks.
holiday.
I mean, that's not like it's a long time. It's the 19th.
Yeah, it's coming up pretty quick.
And then we get the next one after that is President's Day, which I believe is the 16th of February. Then we don't have anything till like May.
Memorial Day.
Yeah, because I don't think Easter's not a recognized holiday.
Nope. In fact, it's so unrecognized that Biden called it Trans Awareness Day or whatever. I remember.
Pepperidge Farm remembers.
Mm-hmm. You probably would have to go to a World Market or maybe a Costco. No, Costco does not have any Italian pastas.
They don't?
Don't think so.
January,
I mean, they have pasta. They don't have Italian imported pasta.
That's a hot take from Eric Myers. January and August are the two worst months of the year. I mean, for movies, that's true. Well, no, movies in September are pretty bad too. January is definitely.
I think he's talking about days off from work. I don't know.
August doesn't have any holidays.
Yeah, that's why it would be one of the worst months of the year.
January has 2 holidays in it
that only some companies actually observe.
New Year's Day and Martin Luther King Day. Those are
New Year's Day,
recognized.
yes, is observed.
And
But
Martin Luther
MLK
King Day. I don't know any. No, I don't know any company that doesn't give MLK Day. Do you think there's any company in the United States in 2026 that wants the shitstorm that would rain down on them if they didn't recognize MLK Day?
Well, now that they're starting to call out all the things MLK did, maybe? I don't know.
I guarantee you any corporation in the United States that has over 1,000 employees recognizes both MLK and Juneteenth, and they immediately make them the recognized holidays. I know the ones that are questionable that are federal holidays Columbus Day usually becomes a questionable one where some places
You
don't give
mean
it to you.
Indigenous Peoples Day?
Yeah, Columbus / Indigenous Peoples Day. And some places don't give you President's Day. Yeah.
A lot of retail doesn't recognize MLK.
Retail doesn't recognize holidays at all.
Some do.
If you're a retail worker, they usually only close for Thanksgiving and Christmas. They're open every other holiday. Where I worked at in retail, which was AMC. AMC was open 365. We were open on Thanksgiving. We were open on Christmas Day. We didn't get any of the holidays.
Papa John's too.
I don't know. I feel like you guys didn't close for Christmas. Did you have reduced hours?
Reduced hours, yeah. Pretty sure. Trying to remember. It's been a while. Yeah. Even retail is, well, they had semi-stopped recognizing Thanksgiving because they started doing Black Friday like at 6 o'clock on Thanksgiving. I think they've all backed off of that a little bit now.
Yeah, they've rolled back to Black Friday actually being on the Friday.
Yeah. It was really starting to piss me off in this household because the wife would immediately take off right after dinner and be gone till like 2 o'clock in the morning for Thanksgiving night. It's like, you're crazy. The deals aren't worth that. And unless you're getting like the door opening deals, most of those things are still going to be on sale and in stock tomorrow. Doorbuster deals, I think is what they call them.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, Java, they were doing late on Thanksgiving night long before COVID. It had turned into its own holiday for the most part. Yes, she could stay home and get the same deals online, but she liked going out to the stores for some reason amongst the wild animals. Because if you've ever been to any of those Black Friday things for like doorbuster deals, it's stupid.
I used to all right, so I would go out when they would open at midnight. I would wait till 1 a.m. to let the crazies go nuts. And then I would go because Best Buy, Target, they would have their Blu-ray or, DVD deals where you could get movies for like $2-3.
Right.
And it was awesome because those ones didn't go out of stock. They weren't like $100 computers where they had 2 of them and you were getting into a rumble to try to get to it. You wait like the hour for those people to get into their fights, and then you go and you do your physical media shopping. And then I'd look for any other deals that might look fun. The main thing you got to realize is that starting around the mid 2010s, 20 teens, whatever you want to call it, is when they also started stopping giving you good deals on shit. They would raise the prices of things up.
Raise the price and then lower it on that day.
And then lower it that day. It was some bullshit.
Has anybody in the chat or you, Chad, seen the guy on YouTube, the deal guy that does this is what you should be buying in Costco this January?
I watch it every month he drops it.
So do I. But it drives me freaking nuts that at the end of every video, he's like, I love you, goodbye. It's so weird.
It drives me nuts when he fucking flips the food.
Yes, like when that's his little just tosses it and catches it again.
Yeah, where he's flipping it on camera. I'm like,
yeah,
stop it. Those like muffins.
Like, I just find it so awkward that he says I love you every single video. I
don't understand how someone who watches YouTube could not have heard of this guy. Maybe our feeds are just feeding different. But
He's pretty hard to escape. He'll hit your algorithm at some point.
You'll get it. And it's worth it for watching. He does it for Sam's Club, Costco, all the box stores. Yeah, and then he'll mention his wife. Like, I'm waiting for the dark episode where he's going to be like, my wife left me. She didn't want the tiramisu this month, but it was on sale, so I got it. And she threw it back in my face. But it's delicious. You should buy it.
No, I'm pretty sure his channel is actually called The Deal Guy. Little curly-haired guy. Most of his popular videos are Costco, but he does do Sam's and a few other places too, like Chad said. These are the deals you can find at Costco this January.
Yeah,
Top 10 things when he lists about 30 and then 10 extras.
Yeah, plot twist, he doesn't even have a wife.
This would not surprise me.
Yeah. He got the bulk size things of food and he just eats it sad and lonely.
Most of it he's eating out of his the trunk of his car, so I don't even know if he has an actual home. Because he'll do that too. He'll get the food from Costco, go out to his trunk, and then shoot video of him eating it out of his trunk. Yes, he gets like 1 million views a video. I don't know how people have not seen this guy. He hits everybody's algorithm eventually because he's inoffensive in almost every single way. So there's nothing that they stop him from hitting the algorithm for. But I don't even sub. It just pops up every single month for me.
I get let's see, what is my feed currently? I'm trying to, because you know how the algorithm starts shifting by like the stuff you'll watch.
It's all freaking AI because I accidentally clicked on one of those stupid videos that they've been putting out that's like 25 things you didn't know from this movie. And now that's all I get.
Yeah, so my current like algorithm based like YouTube initial feed when you
The
go
recommends.
to the landing page is a lot of 2A videos because I enjoy those which are never monetized. A lot of Blake Lively, Justin Baldoni trial updates because I've been there's been a lot of filings of late in that. And then this is the toy part. I get toy reviews and like reviewing the newest Transformers and GI Joe releases, which, to be fair, are great videos and people should be watching.
Let's see. The first one that I've got is my daughter asked me for $200,000 to expand her business. I said no. 3 days later, she offered me a special dinner and said it was made especially for you. The smell was strange, so I calmly switched plates with my son-in-law. 1 hour later, ...
Oh, you're getting the AI stories?
Yes.
The AI stories I get recommended are the anon like corporate ones. I find those good. Or I also have right now Game of Thrones what if stories. I was like, these things are entertaining to put in the background because I do think that the Game of Thrones people made some retarded choices. So the what ifs where they did something that seems rational makes more sense.
Yeah, my crack, and I get a lot of the Reddit stories. And they're all AI, but I do have a lot of Hades 2 and Megabonk in there right now because I'll watch videos of people playing in the background during work because they take no attention from me.
Yeah, it's the
and then I get a lot of the charismatic voice, the redhead chick who reacts to songs. She's a opera singer.
I get let's see, I clicked on some Wonder Years stuff last week, and so that's in my feed now. I mean, I do. if you want to readjust your algorithm, go to your history and start like just taking out some of this stuff and then refresh, and it'll reorient itself.
Every now and then, because I literally subscription wise, I've got hundreds, if not thousands. So I'll just clear the history altogether.
I also there's what is I let me see the subscriptions.
Anybody watch Sam the cooking guy? The guy who does all the cooking outdoors on his gigantic patio, California? I think his are good. I really like the Wyatt Files, but that one's kind of caught on in our corner. And some of my favorite videos, one of the only guys that I will immediately, the second a video drops, go and watch, is Summoning Salt. He does long form videos on records in video gaming. And he does them very well.
I'm trying. I do the There I Ruin It for the music, and or the fake music is pretty good. Oh,
the chat music stuff, or
yeah, the There I Ruin It is the one who mashes up the like the difference. He's the one who did the like John Denver version of War Pigs.
Yeah.
And
more videos for gaming, dearest, is Vadavidya, because I really only care about the lore from the Dark Souls and FromSoft games.
What was all right? I gotta find it because there's another one. It's AI songs, but they're hilarious. They're like, I almost wanted to put some on Ascendant Art, but I think it might be a little too risque for that. It's like they do like metal ones with some pretty silly lyrics, like
anytime it can understand what song is being played, even musically, it's going to be a problem.
Yeah, I mean it's an AI song, but it's a YouTube video, so it might be copyrighted.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what the standard is for that one. I also get a lot of YouTube reviews of different like tech stuff because I like watching those. I got it right now. My feed has got a lot of stuff with the people reviewing the newest model of the folding phones, which
oh, and there is one channel that does AI stuff that I actually do like. Let me see if I can find it. It's where, John Oleksik, something like that. He trains AIs to then have a debate with each other, and then gives them a topic like, does God exist? And the two AIs debate, and then there's like 30 other AIs that judge who won each point on the debate. And those have been interesting.
Nice. That would be an interesting thing to train, like to see how well they make the points if the AI can start making arguments that it wasn't trained for by extrapolation.
Right. Like here's one: should healthcare be free for everyone? AI debate. Does God exist? The death penalty versus life imprisonment. Israel versus Palestine. Whose land is it? So they've got some interesting ones. And he's had videos out for well over a year. So he's been doing it a while. Which holy book fails women most? 100 AIs debate. And I found some interesting videos on Islam that I've been going through. Maybe we'll do a breakdown of one of those videos or something on the after hours at some point, because they're pretty interesting. Basically, all the places where where the Quran just completely disproves itself left and right, contradicts itself,
Oh, here
has
it is.
things that were straight up stolen from the Talmud.
Here's
like
the
word for word.
These you can see the name of the channel is actually, no, I'm not going to share it because that has risque titles, and this channel's monetized. This one probably isn't. It's called Banned Vinyl, and it's got things like take my A on New Year's Eve and like it's taking like, and they'll do like just ridiculous fake joke lyrics that are highly inappropriate, and I find it hilarious because they'll do it in old country or like metal. Very funny. But the There I Ruined It, I think Eric put in chat, they did a really funny Christmas song where it was Creed doing Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, and it worked really well. It was like it was like the most Creed song that wasn't Creed that I've ever heard, and it was Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. It's like, I'll take your sleigh up higher. And obviously the AI can mimic voices with that much information pretty solid.
Right, with it being that out there. I'm trying to find the name of the channel of the guy that I've been
us monotheists
watching
against the
it
world.
with. It's been React videos from Nuxanor, but I'm trying to figure out what the name of the actual channel that he is reacting to is. Apologetics Roadshow, I think, is the name of the guy.
Nice.
So, yeah. That's what I've been watching lately, along with a ton of whatever feeds I can get about the politics stuff. Stay up to date for this show every week. And hopefully be ahead of everybody tomorrow. Which we tend to be.
I'm going to be honest, it's interesting that as much as I keep like I use X for my political feed effectively, but YouTube, I just want to be entertained completely. I don't do any like outside of our show. I'm pretty much I want to be just like background noise. No, I don't want X kind of handles all my politics stuff, and I don't mess with doing
I still
that on
like
YouTube.
watching everybody's shows every day.
Well, I'll watch all the like. Oh, you mean
like Shapiro, Megyn Kelly, all of that, just to get, different random takes from what people are thinking on certain things. I especially like watching them on Monday because almost every single Monday since we've started the show, they're going through the exact same topics that we just did. So I like to see how we did compared to what they're doing on them.
Yeah,
and I think we tend to go into them a little bit deeper, but that's because we focus on 2 or 3 topics instead of everything going on. Because we don't have a whole team of producers finding all the information for us. We're just talking.
Yep.
Hey,
we're
there's
just
Cash
having-
Kester.
Yeah, we do all. We're our own research division, which is why.
And usually, we rarely even talk to each other about what we're going to talk about before we get on the show. I've usually got an outline for what we're going to go into. Chad's got some things that he wants to go into. And then
this
we
week
just
was a little easier
kinda start.
because I messaged Brahma. I was like, I think we've got our topic for the show. After it's like, I think we'll be doing probably an hour and a half, 2 hours on Venezuela, because there's so many different aspects of it.
Yeah, I didn't even go into the history of Venezuela all that much. Like the Exxon lawsuit and all that kind of stuff. But in that section is where I had the oil production drop the numbers.
Yep.
So we hit on it, sort of. So, well,
Oh, thanks.
I know you have to get up and go to work tomorrow.
Appreciate it.
Yes, Eric does give us some stuff, usually in the Toxic Man Flu chat, which for various reasons Chad is not in. But I do see a lot of stuff from Eric. Like the Venezuelan woman slamming liberals protesting against the U.S. ousting Maduro. Lots of stuff.
Yeah, that's
Bell sends some stuff too, and if anybody wants to send us stuff specifically for the show, you are welcome to join the Discord, where I have not been great during this this last couple weeks just because of the holidays, but I do have it open at all times, so I do see a lot of things. Just haven't been doing a lot of commenting or even reacting to it. But there's the Discord link if anybody wants in.
Still need a Wednesday stream someday.
That is the other open night, except for when I do the Christian panel.
You need to keep a day for your wife.
Why? Wednesdays she watches what Big Brother, Survivor, or whichever reality show is on at the same time we do a stream.
I get that. I'm just saying it seems like an awful lot of time that you're not doing. So, I don't know. I don't want you to have any issues because you're streaming too much.
Now, what I should do is, since half the time I'm just gaming in the background anyway, I should just start doing Wednesday night games. Just whatever I'm playing, because I'm playing anyway, so I might as well just start broadcasting and talk with chat. But I still find it difficult to do the solo gaming streams if there's not enough chat there to keep a conversation going of some kind, because I'm not like Gary. I can't just talk and talk and talk on whatever without having some interaction back and forth.
Yeah, I think it is good to have like an actual chat going, like even if it's a couple people, just to have something.
Yeah. It helps Slender over at Ascendant Arcade.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, shall we call it? We're at 3 hours, and you've got work in the morning in office, right? And I know I'm going back to a ton of voicemails because I've seen them all notify on the phone. So it's going to be a fun one.
All right. Well, yeah, that's going to be a good one. I get to go in and try to get people to do what they need to do to get paid, and we'll see if they'll follow instructions.
Yeah, Kitty, the theme would pretty much be whatever I'm playing, because I just fire up a whole bunch of different games like Mega Bonk and Hades 2, and I've got a whole bunch of different things I've been playing lately, but they're all somewhat okay to stream, I guess. They're a whole bunch of very indie games, not a lot of the big games. So I could go back to doing some Elden Ring speed runs if I can remember all the routes and stuff that I used to take, but I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, we'll catch you guys next week. Thanks for hanging with us. Thank you for all the donations and memberships tonight and super chats. It was a good night. So
yep. But can you
hope
speed
everybody
run
enjoyed
Venezuela?
themselves.
That's the real question.
We did. And yeah, I think next week for the after show we should look at that guy's video on some of the stuff with the Quran, because we're not letting the Islam thing go. Night, everybody.
Later.